were canceled last week. Tibbetts vanished over 3 weeks ago after going for a run while staying at her boyfriend's house while he was away for a construction job. There's a new player in the all-electric car market, Ohio-based Workhorse, looking to take on Tesla with a new pickup truck.
The company is already taking orders for a plug-in hybrid truck with an 80-mile electric range that starts at $52,000. But CEO Steve Barnes said that battery technology has advanced so rapidly, the Workhorse is now planning to add a pure electric model that can go 200 miles per charge at the same price. Both trucks will be manufactured at the company's facility in Indiana starting next year.
Fox's Gary Gastelou. A down day on Wall Street, the Dow falling 125 points at the closing bell. The S&P and the Nasdaq also lower. For the Dow and the Nasdaq, for the Dow and the S&P, it's the fourth loss in a row. The Dow finishing at 25,187. Miss Brady, Fox News Radio.
If you can dream uncommon design and unprecedented engineering, you define the 2018 Lexus. The boldly designed IS Sport Sedan's aggressive design stimulates the senses.
Advanced paddle shifting puts the exhilarating performance of the IS Sport Sedan at your fingertips. With deep, luxurious seating, the ES350 offers an ultimate level of comfort, while cutting-edge engineering delivers a thrilling drive.
Put yourself in a 2018 Lexus.
Now with special incentives.
At Adkins Kroll.
Apply today for First Hawaiian Bank's United Mileage Plus credit card. And upon approval, you will be entered to win 2 round-trip business class tickets on United. You'll also earn up to 30,000 bonus miles, 5,000 upon opening your new account, and 25,000 after spending $1,500 within 3 months. And you'll get 2 times the mileage on United ticket purchases. Apply by August 31, 2018. Stop by any branch or visit us online at FHB.com. Terms and conditions apply. Sweepstakes starts on July 1, 2018 and ends on August 31, 2018. Open to legal residents of Guam and the Commonwealth of the Northern Mariana Islands aged 18 years or older. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited. Visit www.fhb.com/United Sweepstakes for official rules and complete details. Member FDIC.
Sometimes a penny saved can lead to much more than a penny earned. With GPA Energy Sense rebate program, the power is yours. Earn money back while saving on your monthly power bill. GPA Energy Sense rebate program will help lower your initial costs when purchasing approved GPA energy efficient appliances and upgrades with monthly savings you can expect. For more Energy Sense saving ideas, visit GuamPowerAuthority.com or like us on Facebook. GPA, bringing energy solutions to you.
Taste the sizzle at Chili's with our new fajita flavors. Our signature fajitas are served with sliced bell peppers, caramelized onions, topped with chipotle garlic butter, and chopped cilantro. Build your fajita with over 16 ounces of tender grilled chicken, juicy steak, and a dozen pieces of seasoned grilled shrimp in the family fajita trio. All served with warm flour tortillas and fresh toppings like mixed cheese, guacamole, salsa, and pico de gallo. Experience bold, sizzling fajita flavors only at Chili's. More life happens here.
Half a day and good morning, Guam. News time here at The Point is 8 minutes past 6 a.m. this Tuesday morning. I'm Kevin Kerrigan. Here's a look now at some of the top stories from the Guam Daily Post. The 3-day search for missing 15-year-old hiker Xavier Akima came to a close yesterday when his body was found about 1.5 miles from the Pago Bay Bridge around 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Xavier's backpack and phone were found a few hours earlier about 100 yards from the bridge along the Lonfit River near the Leo Palace Resort. The recovery of the boy's remains brought a tragic end to the hopes and prayers of friends, family, and the island community that had prayed for his safe return. And it followed a massive 3-day search that included Guam Fire Search and Rescue, Guam Police, the Guam Guard, the Coast Guard, and the Navy's search helicopter crew. Xavier, who was a junior at Father Duenas Memorial, had gone hiking with friends on Saturday when he was swept away while crossing the flooded Lonfit River. Governor Eddie Calvo issuing a statement yesterday evening extending condolences to the Xavier family. The governor also issued, Lieutenant Governor Ray Tenorio also issued a statement saying the Akima family is in our thoughts and prayers. In other news, the three candidates for Guam's next attorney general spoke their minds yesterday on many of the legal issues facing the island, from deportation to government corruption. Attorney Gary Gumatautau and attorney Levin Camacho and Doug Moylan took questions at a forum sponsored by the Guam Bar Association held at the Guam Museum. Former AG Moylan said that the quality of people's lives on island is affected by the number of individuals living within the island's limited economy. He said those people that are not citizens should not have the privilege of violating our laws, hurting people, and remaining in the community. Attorney Levin Camacho said he supported the deportation of violent criminals and those convicted of criminal sexual conduct, but drug convictions are more tricky, he said. Camacho said he heard of one case involving an FSM citizen who completed a drug court program and had his case dismissed, but he was still deported anyway. Camacho said he would not have supported deportation in a case like that. And attorney Frank Gumatautau said he believes it is not right to send criminals back to their home nations and avoid punishment altogether. He said the prison system in general appears to be a way out for criminals who end up doing nothing in jail. Prisoners should be made to work on and clean public places, he said. We'll have more news after this.
Here at APL, our core values give the company its heart and soul. Whether it's connecting your business with our global network through our newly enhanced service or investing our efforts into giving back to the community, APL is committed to serving you. We humbly honor the opportunity to find innovative solutions for you and your business. To learn more about our enhanced service, call 588-4651 or visit www.apl.com/Guam for more details.
In illness and in wellness, Calvo's Select Care is health care that is there for you. That's why over 80% of the Guam medical community places their trust and insures with us. We offer our members wellness and fitness programs for a healthier lifestyle and provide a comprehensive medical network on and off island to help members from unexpected illnesses. Contact Calvo's Select Care today for more information.
11 minutes past 6 a.m. here at The Point. The Office of the Attorney General remains mum about its investigation into the gun-grabbing incident involving Lieutenant Governor Ray Tenorio. In response to a request for an update on the status of the investigation from Public Safety Committee Chairwoman Senator Talina Nelson, Attorney General Elizabeth Barrett Anderson issued a one-sentence response confirming she had received Senator Nelson's letter, but she was unable to comment. Nelson asked the AG to say when the investigation would be completed, writing that a resolution is needed to ensure fairness for the community as well as for the lieutenant governor. Tenorio, who is a candidate for governor, has acknowledged drinking a few beers before approaching a uniformed officer from behind and lifting his gun out of the holster after observing it was not securely fastened. He initially called it a teaching moment for the officer, but later admitted that the teaching moment was his and he should have done it differently. More than a month after Tropical Storm Maria swept over the island, the Guam National Wildlife Refuge at Ritidian continues to clean up the extensive damage caused by the storm there. The refuge issued a statement saying that the Nature Trail and the Lati Loop Trail remain closed as they continue to clear down trees and hanging limbs. The closed areas have been marked off by tape and signs. The statement from the refuge also warning that high surf and dangerous rip currents continue to pose a hazard for visitors to the area this week. Swimmers are advised to wear personal flotation devices when swimming and to pay attention to safety signs. For these stories and more, log on to postguam.com or pick up a copy of today's Guam Daily Post. Here's Ray now with a look at weather.
It's going to be rainy and snotty all day today because it's a back-to-school kind of Tuesday morning. Partly cloudy skies, isolated showers. Ray, I miss school. East winds 10 to 15 miles an hour, increasing to 15 to 20 miles an hour tonight. Highs today 90 degrees, max heat index around 103. Overnight lows of about 78 degrees. Look for your sunset tonight about 6:43. Sunrise tomorrow morning about the same as today, 6:08 or so. so. I've got the radar all queued up, so let's see if we can get some indications of how it's possible that it's going to be rainy and thunderstormy and snotty in the morning, and then we'll zoom up to a possible heat index of about 103 degrees. Well, why does it do that?
Well, we just had this first round of rainfall move through, as you can see there on the radar. That's now west of the island, and looks like we're going to have more scattered stuff rolling on throughout the day. I don't think it's going to be like a rain out, but definitely going to be a little wet out there. And of course, the moisture falling, then you get the sun coming back out. It lifts that moisture, and the humidity rises. Of course, it's going to be hot. I saw on my temperature yesterday, got up to 92 in real temperature, so that put the heat index probably at about 103, where it's going to be today. So yeah, it's setting up to be a very hot kind of a
back to school morning
thing.
Yeah. The poor kids. I hope you got the school. Everybody got their uniforms. Hopefully you got the school rain slick because some of the kids might need that this morning. Sun's up, and hopefully the buses are on schedule and on time. I'll take a look at what's happening with the traffic maps here in just a second. We'll take a look real quick at the the satellite imagery and see if there's anything interesting on that.
Actually, you were correct. That is the infrared satellite. We've got a large monsoonal low, as you can see under the pointer there, and that's to the northeast of the Philippines. This thing is going to sit there for a little while, and this system that's moving past us is actually going to settle down southwest of us. And there's going to be kind of a connection between these two, and it's just going to be kind of a wet and miserable thing, especially for the Philippines over the next few days. For us, it just looks like this system's going to pass to our south and just enhance the chances for rain. The big story actually is the wind. The wind's going to be increasing quite a bit, even tonight, up to about 15 to 20 miles per hour, and stay that way through the week from the south.
Yeah, I was looking at that. Okay, all right. It's a quarter after 6 o'clock in the morning. That's news and weather together here on The Point, brought to you by Bank Pacific. Where others put branches, they place roots.
Don't wait another day and waste another dollar. You can start saving today. At Guahan Insurance Services, we are here to help protect your investment and save you money. We offer insurance advising for business, car, and home insurance. So come and visit us at our new office at Camacho Landmark Center at Marine Corps Drive in Timoning, and let us show you that you can count on us for all your insurance needs. Call 475-1162.
Enjoy your lunch today at King's Restaurant. Mistake tomorrow because it's Tuesday. Too cool for school Tuesday. And so that's what I want you to find today. Tomorrow, pork sinigang. Thursday's meatloaf. Friday, we can start thinking about Friday. Beef tadak. Don't like that? The pick 2 or pick 3 combos work for you as well. It's lunchtime at King's.
Family Finance has been serving the people of Guam since 1959, and they'll continue to be there for you in the years to come. Whether you're looking to get a personal loan for that summer vacation or paying off those long overdue bills, Family Finance has got you covered. Apply for a personal loan from $1,000 up to $3,500 by calling Family Finance in Hagåtña at 475-4545, Upper Tuon 647-5626, or in Dedito 633-4473. Family Finance has been serving the people of Guam since 1959.
Let me give you a piece of advice. Get out on the road as early as you can because it's already starting. How do I know? I got a traffic gizmo. I'll get you some details in just a couple of minutes. Security Title, providing solutions for complex real estate transactions.
Are you paying too much for power? Do you want to reduce your energy costs and save some money? Then call Micronesia Renewable Energy and get a solar energy system installed on your roof. Whether it's ownership or a zero money down program, there's never been a better time to go solar. Sign up in August and MRE will pay 1 month of your power bill so you can save even more money. Not a homeowner? No problem. Refer homeowners to MRE and get paid $400 cash. It pays to be an MRE customer. Conditions apply. Call 632-2613 for details. MRE, the smarter choice.
It's 6:17, first day of school, and new habits you can start for everybody. And I'm just absolutely delighted that there's a Wendy's near my casa. Now is the time for that Wendy's break. The definition of a successful lunch. How about this? That's what I had for dinner last night. Half a cup of fruit, half a cup of dairy, a complete day's worth of vegetables, and over half of your protein needs for the day. Wendy's new seasonal berry burst chicken salad. That's a successful lunch or dinner anytime at Wendy's. Now that's better.
Sizzling hot, that's what our special summer loan is, with rates as low as 4% and amounts up to $50,000. You can use your money for whatever you want, like back to school expenses, tuition, travel, or paying down expensive credit cards. A sizzling hot special summer loan with great rates as low as 4% at Bank Pacific today.
Bank Pacific, where others put branches, we place roots.
Eco Credit Opportunity Lender. Conditions apply. As low as 4% APR.
The Ray Gibson Show. Morning talk that matters. Call now. 888-TALK. That's 888-8255.
Hey, thanks, Greg. We'll do some check on that. Greg Massey indicating that the 2019 NDAA has been signed into law by the President of the United States of America. We'll see if we can get some details on that and dig out some stuff from the Congresswoman's archive and see what else is in there that's really good for us. I think there might be some good news for contractors that are involved in the military buildup on that side of the fence, and maybe a few dollars that are floating around here. You don't normally start with traffic at this time, but it's the curiosity of back to school. It's been a while, and things have changed out there. And you got some new kids, 16 years old, got their driver's license, might be driving themselves to school today, and a lot more buses that are going to be on the road. Yeah, so we'll take a look real quick. I'm looking at, there it is, the line of traffic just starting to build up here. Northbound on Route 8 towards 8, 10, and 16, things begin to build up around that intersection. There's a bunch of schools right around there, a bunch of schools in the Mangilao area that are starting to build up. If you're trying to get from southbound on Route 8 onto the Tiedzin area, look for a little bit of slowdown through there, and then you might see a couple of places on 10 Alpha on the way into Marine Corps Drive where you might see a little bit more traffic. So that's going to be joining other traffic that we'll be looking at getting into and out of the 3 bases that we've got, Navy Hospital and Sumai and Anderson Air Force Base. But already, I think, going to be a little bit tricky. So the recommendation is, especially if you live or work near a school, you might want to get on the road a little bit earlier than normal. 30,000 kids are going back to school in the Department of Education system. They'll join students from the private schools, many of them that are already in. A lot of the Catholic schools are already back in session. Few of the private schools are all going to be going in this week. So going to be one of those days. So pack some coffee and leave a little bit early and see if that will lubricate your process. It'd be like this for like a week, right? A week, 2 weeks before everybody gets used to the flow of traffic and the changes around where the schools are for the different car lines that are going in and out. But it's like Christmas. We all go through it together, so let's all try to survive.
I can't
the drive.
really say that I miss it, though.
What's
Those days are over for me, taking kids to school, and I don't really miss it.
No?
No.
There's the car line is, it's just one of those things you just kind of get used to. All right, I'm going to need to be here and sit through this for, 10 minutes, something like that. But here, and then you get the kid, and then you go on and do other things. But it's like anything, you kind of get used to it. When I first started, I used to be an Agania brat, right? I worked in Agania 30 years, right? Literally, a long, long time I worked in Agania, and that's what I knew. And then a couple of years ago, I started working in Upper Tumon here at the radio stations, and it was a complete and total shift of how do you get home, how do you where do you eat for lunch, all of those things. So I had to kind of retrain myself, and in the process of retraining myself, I just realized that there were going to be times where I'm going to get stuck in traffic. Doesn't matter what time I leave the office, there is traffic that goes from the JFK and across from Brody Memorial,
right?
And I'm going to get stuck in that line of traffic. I'm going to get stuck in Route 10A traffic headed up towards the airport, and I'm going to get stuck at a couple of lights up there, and eventually I'll make that turn onto Route 16, and then eventually onto Route 8, and I'll be okay. I'll be okay. It's just how you kind of stage yourself. If you know there's going to be a delay, all right, I can deal with that. As phone is charged, when you get to the intersection, check your Facebook, check your WhatsApp, save some for the next intersection because you're gonna need. I'll save Twitter for over at that intersection there. And you stop by the Ocean Vista on the way home, 12-pack of beer.
There you go.
You're good. It's you just got to have a plan in your head, right?
I think a lot of it's perspective too. I spent some time driving in the Philippines, and once you've driven there, this is not even traffic.
They're only in certain places. I don't know. Anyway, a couple of things that are worth going over here this morning in the pre-ramble of the show. So yeah, back to what? Can I just ask a question? There used to be once upon a time when I want to say, and Carl and Jerry Gutierrez are watching already this morning, so I want to say, I think it was an initiative back in Carl Gutierrez's administration, because the kids were having a hard time, a lot of gang problems, and in that part of the 90s, we began to see a terrible surge in the number of young people that were doing drugs, and I want to say, it was an initiative from then First Lady Jerry Gutierrez on the first day of school, that there was a big deal made out about it. I mean, they'd send directors, department heads, agency people, and at every school on Guam, especially the high schools, there would be like a welcome back to school wave. And you know, I was involved with a couple of top 40 radio stations at the time, and we would take our big remote vehicles, the giant boom boxes and station vans and stuff like that. We would take them to all the to as many different schools as we possibly could, do some live broadcasting from the place, some call-ins on the radio, hand out pencils and pens and stuff like that from sponsors. And I'm wondering how it is possible. We just don't do that kind of thing anymore. Maybe we ought to kind of go back to doing something like that. I don't know.
Here we are.
Kind of too late for this administration and this First Lady, but maybe for the next one. Yeah. Maybe for the next First Lady or First Man. Or First Gentleman.
Generally speaking, they don't even allow me on school campuses
well,
anymore.
They check. It's possible that the statute of limitations has run out, and as long as you don't have to tell the courts anymore what you're up to.
No, I'm fine. Yeah, that's all clear.
Sorry, wrong station. Okay, so 6:24 in the morning, and then there's something else. Facebook is the strangest place on the universe. Can I just tell you that right now? It's a weird place. I get these notes from people on the Facebook, and it's what is it? Friend requests.
Yeah.
And so I got a friend request. I got to look this thing up. Hold on a second. Was it yesterday? I think it was. Got a friend request from a woman named Sylvan Walker. And is she pretty in the face, right? And she had a little kind of a blousy profile picture, right? Like two fat kids playing under a blanket, that kind of blousy. Anyway, so it's one of those things. Sent you a friend request. She studied at Agana Heights, Guam, lives in Agana Heights, Guam, from Agana Heights, Guam, single, and under career it put chef de partie. Oh, fancy, right? Chef de partie at McDonald's.
Hey.
I didn't realize they had that position. The chef de partie at McDonald's. Did
she fix the Sundays or something? I'm not sure.
No, I don't know. I just thought, and so I kind of wanted to write back and just, accept the friend request and then write back immediately and say, your scam game is so weak. It's so weak. I got another one from somebody that said that they worked at the Walgreens here. there hasn't been a Walgreens since Mark's Walgreens burned down back in, what was that, 1983? Do you remember back in those days? Wait a second, hold on. Just a memory here. Let me just sit in this warm bath of nostalgia. Walking into Mark's Walgreens and the smell of roasting nuts.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, they had one of those. They still have one now over at the Rexall in Timoni next to ITC. But back in the old days, if you wanted something like that, that's where you went for your roasted pistachios and cashews and peanuts. And that was just, oh my God, that was just the best. I mean, that smell will always bring me back to walking around the old Marks.
In Pasadena, where I grew up, they did have one of the old style drugstores with the soda fountains in it, and still had it in the 70s as I was growing up. And we would walk down there, and it would be 50 style. I mean, it would be like stepping back in time. My parents loved to take me there until they closed it.
I just it's just one of those things, and it kind of locks into your childhood and all of that. 6:27 in the morning, and about time for us to say good morning to everybody, and thanks for watching on the Facebook Live.
Sometimes you want to go where everybody knows your name. Glad you came. You wanna be where you can see our troubles are all the same. You wanna be where everybody knows your name.
Yeah, Carl and Jerry Gary Gutierrez are up, and Nietzsche is there. Juanita Machi and Daryl Taggarty are up early. Lynn Vince Borja Polino reporting thunder and lightning rocking and rolling in the skies this morning. We caught some of that here. Mark Mendiola is up and ready as the Department of Education's, the board, the Ed board here. He's the representative on Facebook Live. Hey, Mark, you're welcome to call in and maybe a welcome back to school announcement for the kids and the parents. Katie Baltazar, Mike Tagora, I see Nick Perlowski, sending prayers to Xavier's family and his classmates and all the Duenas brothers in their time of need. And that's occupied all of us over the last 3 or 4 days. And it's so sad that it did not come out with a happy conclusion. And we'll be watching all of us, older Duenas brothers, will be watching these young Duenas brothers. And if you need anything, just call and ask. The answer is always yes, even when it's an upperclassman. Dave Duenas is there. I see Lillian Cruz saying buenos, Kevin and Ray. And Michael Greg Massey reporting the 2019 NDAA signed just a few minutes ago. Does that open a spigot of billions of dollars? Well, certainly hundreds of millions of dollars worth of work that's going to be coming out here as part of the buildup and part of the regular routine of just having a bunch of bases here. Joe Flores, Paul James Sablan Rabagoo says, Hafa day, welcome back, JFK Islanders. Right down the street. And use the crosswalk, guys. Carmen Leon Guerrero, Charlene Marchessault, Roel Bejarana. That's Casey, who is world famous now as a very, very popular DJ in the island of Oahu in the state of Hawaii. Good to see you online, buddy. Rico Blancafor, first day of school. Good morning, Guam. Ken LG, giving me the URL for the Citizens for Public Accountability Adelup Race video playlist. We spoke about this a little bit yesterday. Hey, there's Pretty Ashley Calvo Rodriguez, and apparently that's a thing now. When people are tagging her on Facebook, they're tagging her as Pretty Ashley. Thank you very much. It fits, doesn't it? I got Mike McCarthy and Brad Hewitt and Darren William Gutierrez, Pete Guerrero, Ismail Valiz, open house at MCS this morning from 8 until 12. I appreciate you telling me about that. And if you want to tell me some more, 888-8255, 888-8255. WhatsApp me at 988-5874. That's 988-5874. Or RayGibsonShow@gmail.com on the World Wide Web. Numerous ways that you can get the thoughts that are in your head on the actual air. You know, while I had the gallery open, I thought I'd read this a couple of times this morning, gallery on my phone. Or phablet, if you want to call it that. Elementary schools, 8:30 to 2:43 p.m. These are the bell schedules. Middle schools, 8:30 to 3:30 p.m. John F. Kennedy High School, Southern and Teton, 6:45 to 1:45 p.m. That's when the first bell rings over at JFK, 6:45 in the morning. What is that? What is that nonsense? What is
bright and early? Yeah, you got to get up early.
But that means they're out early. They're out at 1:45 in the afternoon.
And that's a good thing, no?
Who's going to watch?
Plenty of playtime in the afternoon.
Who's going to be watching these teenagers running around unsupervised at 1:45 in the afternoon, and mom and dad don't come home until...
Kmart will not be the place to go shopping at 2 p.m.
5 o'clock, I guess not. JP Torres Success Academy, 6:45 to 1:45. GW, Simon Sanchez and Ukadu High School, 7:15 in the morning until 2:15 in the afternoon. Prudential Meadow, pointing out that some of the Route 8 potholes are being fixed. That's good news. You know, I'd noticed that they looked like they were staging some work, and I'd seen a whole bunch of black construction crews up and down Route 8 over the last few days. But we have not been able to get a hold of Glenn Leon Guerrero. Try as we might. I'm not sure if he's on island or if he's just ignoring me under orders from the high command. But we know that there is work that is being done out there on Route 8. And remind me in a couple of minutes. We've got to take care of headlines, but remind me in a couple of minutes, it's possible that we could be seeing just an incredible amount of work that is going to be taking place on one of Guam's busiest roadways. In just a little bit, I'll tell you about a massive IFB that has just been inked and published in the news. In the meantime, at 6:31 in the morning, this is the Ray Gibson Show, and time for headlines from the Guam Daily Post. Here's Kevin Kerrigan.
Half a day and good morning, Guam. In the headlines from the Guam Daily Post this morning, Congresswoman Madeline Bordallo announcing this morning that President Donald Trump has signed into law the National Defense Authorization Act for fiscal year 2019. The law authorizes $648 billion for the Department of Defense and defense-related programs, with an additional $69 billion for overseas contingency operations. The NDAA, of course, includes $448.5 million for military construction projects here on Guam to support the ongoing progress of the Marine realignment, including $75.6 million for X-ray wharf improvements. The law fully authorizes $141 million for a machine gun firing range, with half authorized to be spent in fiscal year 2019. In other news, Jesse Leon Guerrero behind bars again after testing positive for meth use and repeatedly failing to report for subsequent drug tests. Leon Guerrero indicted on federal charges of conspiracy to possess and distribute methamphetamine. He was released into custody of his 72-year-old father back in April, but according to court records, he tested positive for meth use on June 14th. He denied using the drug, but tested positive again on June 20th, after which he failed to report for subsequent drug testing, at one point telling a probation officer that he forgot. His supervised release was revoked and he was sent back to jail. 24-year-old Daniel Roberto was arrested by GPD's Mandana Drug Task Force Friday in Dededo on drug allegations, according to the magistrate's complaint. Roberto admitting to being a meth user after officers discovered a glass pipe that had meth residue on it. The arrest was made after police executed a search warrant based on information alleging that Roberto was involved in narcotics distribution and the unauthorized transfer of unregistered firearms. For these stories and more, log on to postguam.com or pick up a copy of today's Guam Daily Post.
I forgot to go to court. This guy's. So what happened to him? Is he incarcerated? Did they say, okay, well, if you can't remember, we'll put you in a place where somebody will watch you?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Okay, phew, it's 6:34 in the morning, and that's iConnect time. Hey there, the practical choice. Why pay more and get less? Talk to iConnect about push to talk and mobile and internet. Before I finish up with the iConnect thing on the push, because a lot of people ask me, say, Ray, what is push to talk? Because they're not from this decade, and you know they're like, I don't know what that is. Push to talk it's a two-way radio that is in the phone. It's the basic way I can say it. It's simplex communication. You push the button, and then when you release it, the other guy pushes a button on his end and releases. Basically a walkie-talkie, right? But it's got all of the regular features of a phone. Also a lot of smart features. So the things that a lot of the things that you can do on WhatsApp, you can do broadcast, you can set up groups and things like that. You can do with these push-to-talk devices. But again, in its simplest form, it's a two-way radio, which means that you press the button, and the guy that you want to talk to is going to hear it right now. Really is a great way to run things if you've got a fleet or if you've got a lot of people that are spread out all over the island. You need to communicate with them individually or in a group basis right away. No time for blue checks. That's the magic of push to talk, and only one group has got it, and that's iConnect.
Dear people of Guam, Governor Gutierrez helped you and your family recover after natural disasters and economic hard times when he was your governor. He wants the chance to help you again. He's the only candidate with the experience and compassion needed to get us back on the path to prosperity. Please help him make Guam, Guam again, and vote Gutierrez Bordallo on August 25th. Thank you.
I'm Carl Gutierrez, and I approve this message.
Weddingdale, making your way up through the Stumbo and parts of Dededo on Route 3. You're going to see some slowing down headed towards the intersection of 1 and 3. Still so far, nothing snagging you out in the Mangilau area. Portions of the Ray Gibson Show brought to you by MRE. That's Micronesia Renewable Energy.
Hi, this is Kathy Sorensen. Some of you may remember me as the lady who bought too much furniture and passed on the savings to you. I'm back with Furniture Kathy style, and prices are rolled back 10 years. That's 2018 style with 2008 prices. Come check us out and have a chance to win your dream home makeover. Everything is on sale up to 25% during this grand opening event. Visit us at Furniture Kathy Style in Agana, Instagram, and Facebook.
Portions of the program here also brought to you by my friends over at American President Lines. APL is shipping the future. Get
a 20-ounce stainless steel Circle K Coffee Club tumbler. Just stop into any Circle K, sign up for our Power Pass rewards program, and after your purchase of 15 cups of premium coffee, any size, you get your tumbler for free. While supplies last, conditions apply. See store for details. Get a 20-ounce stainless steel Circle K Coffee Club tumbler. Just swipe your Power Pass key fob when you purchase Circle K premium coffee, any size, and after 15 cups, you'll get your tumbler for free. While supplies last, conditions apply. See store for details.
Have you had the signature wraps over at Subway? I cannot stop raving about this. Subway's great, convenient, and they're all over the place. And they found a new way a few months ago to take some of the sandwiches that you already love and reinvigorate them with new and different flavors, less carbs too. They've got this wrap that they will lay down for you, and then they'll take all of the ingredients of their special signature wraps, or maybe your favorites of BMT or a Black Forest or whatever, and they'll put that in the wrap form. And so instead of eating a big sub sandwich, you would get just as much food, but in a wrap form. That's the way they're doing it these days, loaded with flavor, packed with meat, and all kinds of goodness for you. Try it today at Subway.
Kohler Power Systems are available for rent from Morico Equipment in Tamuning. 50 to 500 kilowatt Kohler diesel generators on trailers or on the ground. Call Roland at Morico now, 649-1946, or click moricoequipment.com. Kohler Power Systems are made for Guam conditions. Aluminum, weatherproof, and soundproof enclosures for Guam's tropical climate. Kohler generators can run all day with the correct size fuel tank. Call Morico now, 649-1946, or click moricoequipment.com.
Yep, traffic snagging in both directions right there at Ukadu Street. Southbound, northbound, if you're on Route 3 this morning. And all I can say is, I told you, leave early, didn't I? You're going to get stuck in that mess. Traffic on Marine Corps Drive, northbound, taking that turn into Route 3 is starting to snag, is building up here. We've got traffic southbound Marine Corps Drive headed to the intersection of 1 and 3, and that's beginning to start getting ugly. Traffic in front of this area here, between DPW and Kmart, is already starting to build up. There must be a high school in the area. Oh, yeah, John F. Kennedy High School, as a matter of fact. Southbound traffic on Route 8 beginning to build up just as you get past the intersection that takes you behind the Poke Fry and into the swimming pool area. Traffic also beginning to build up southbound into Agana from Agana Heights, waiting for things to start getting crazy over at Navy Hospital, maybe in the next hour of the program. Still nothing on 4. The intersection of 4 and 10 is clear. 8, 10, and 16 is clear, and along the major intersections in between Mangilau, the University of Guam, GCC, et cetera, those are all clear right now. Again, the big snag looks like it's in front of Ukadu High School in both directions. So if you see something like that, let me know about it. Take pictures. 988-5874 is our WhatsApp number. We were talking earlier about the potholes and the divots, the speed dimples on Route 8 being filled in. Dave Duenas with a powerful observation. Potholes being fixed. Of course, it's election time. That's how it works. About time. Plenty in Dededo. How about your village? Fix them all. Good. All right. Nice observation, Dave. You're absolutely right. Welcome to election year.
As a mayor, I see the first-hand struggles our people face. I see the real effects of tax increases and what happens when our government cannot deliver the services timely. I've heard the promises made year after year. I know what it really means when these promises go unfulfilled. Who do you trust to finally get things done right? I'm in with Lou and Josh because they have the experience to lead us and deliver what they promise.
I'm Lou Leon Guerrero, and I approve this message.
Paid for by the committee to elect Leon Guerrero Tenorio. Tony Sanford, Treasurer.
The Coconut Wireless is back. Morning talk that matters. The Ray Gibson Show.
641-888-8255. Sorry, just making my noises here. And some very, very interesting things. Like I said, Facebook sometimes is the strangest part of the neighborhood here on Guam. You never know what's going to happen when you drive through the village of Facebook on Guam, do you? Like this morning, I'm going through my morning constitutional, and I see a thing from Dr. Tom Shea. Can someone explain the election process? If someone wishes to be a write-in candidate, what is the process for governor or for senator? So, steps 1, 2, and 3. And then he cites some examples in here. Like it says, should I write in Ray only or Ray Gibson, the entire name, and anything else? Like, does he need more than 500 signatures? Does he need to go to the election office? Ken Leon Guerrero chimes in. And Rich Jet says it must be his correct name. If misspelled, it won't count. And so my question is, Tom, what are you doing?
Yeah.
What are you doing, Tom Shea?
I'm walking, getting my exercise with my good friend here, James Atkins.
Hey, tell him I said hello.
Hello.
No, always nice to hear from you guys. Now, what is this write-in Ray Gibson thing on your Tom Shea deal here?
It was just it was sort of a thought that went through my head. It's like man, we have all these candidates, and we also have other good candidates that may want to run or be good candidates, good leaders, but perhaps just didn't go through the process of, the Guam election, to file all the papers. But, they still have a chance because they always say you can write in. But no one had actually explained in detail how this writing process happens. I mean, I don't know. I don't think you even know, Ray. Do you?
No, I just, I know that my name will pop up. I mean, you get to certain people at a certain level of notoriety, media people, things like that. I know that my name, like Chris Barnett, Malfunction, something like that, those names will pop up in the write-ins.
Yeah. I mean, the other question is, does that person, if I wanted to write, for example, Jim Atkins in for governor, he says no way, but he doesn't have a choice, right? He doesn't have a choice. When we go into the booth, we can write anybody's name in if we want.
That's true.
But should I write it Ray Gibson or Raymond Gibson, Ray, or just Gibson? I mean, or is there two Ray Gibsons or Ray Gibson Jr.?
Well, there's Raymond David Gibson. There's my nephew. There's if you wanted to be particular about this, and friends, just for the exercise, the academic exercise, if you want to make sure that it is a vote for me that you are going to be putting in as a write-in, I'm not suggesting you do. I'm just saying for academic purposes, for entertainment purposes only. My legal name is William Raymond Gibson.
Oh, that's kind of long, Ray.
You can put William Gibson. I think if you put Ray Gibson, there's sufficient notice that that's probably me. Most people call my nephew RD.
Yeah. Now, someone messaged me saying that if you want to run as a write-in candidate, you can actually go to the Guam elections and say, I want to run as R. Gibson, or just RD, or RB, or however you want to do it. But you just have to recognize you have to still sign a paper or something there. Just try to find that out for us.
But Marie Pangilinan is usually up early. In fact, she's usually on her way to work right now. And I'll see what I can find out. It was just kind of jarring when I saw my name attached to that post, and I thought, wait a second, what are you trying to get me to do here?
Listen, Ray, you don't know this. I write you in every year. Okay. Now the other question is this, okay? Let me ask you this other question that needs to be clarified.
Sure.
Can we write you in, or anybody that we want, on Democratic side only? Or can we write Democrat and Republican? Or can we write it in as gubernatorial candidate? But in the gubernatorial candidate, you need a partner.
What I think would happen, well, you could put Ray Gibson or Raymond Gibson and Tom Shea if you want to on the government side. But my recollection from a conversation similar to this a few years ago was everybody has to write me on, if they were to write me in, everybody has to write me in on the same side of the ballot. So, that's everybody would have to write me in as on the Republican side.
Right. Okay. Now the other question is, for legality purposes, can we write you as a senatorial candidate and also as gubernatorial? And if you do get elected, you get to choose.
Ooh. You know what? Hold on just a second. Maria Pangilinan from the Guam Election Commission is on the line with me now. Good morning, Maria.
Confident Ray Gibson.
Morning, Maria.
So I got
Dr. Shea.
Yeah, see, I got Dr. Shea here, and he's posing a question academically, I guess, if you will. He wants to know: is there a procedure for me to run as a write-in candidate?
There are some, but for now, with 10 days before the election, all you'd have to do is run. And if you were to start a campaign, if you were to start spending money, then you'd have to submit an organizational report. And possibly, Dr. Shea, a preliminary primary report at the same time.
I see.
As far as how to get on the ballot, you simply have your supporters write you in as much as possible with your legal name.
Okay. Now, is there a process, for example, Ray Gibson's legal name is so long that I probably will misspell it. Does it have to be his entire legal name, or can he come to the Guam election and say, I want to be known as R?
No, at this point in time, no. Because And this is all from the top of my head. If you would want legal advice, you'd have to get it from your lawyer. But if Dr. Shea puts on a campaign for Ray Gibson simply as R, who's to say that Maria would vote for an R and it not being Ray Gibson I'm voting for?
So if Ray can get his name changed temporarily to R, would that be okay?
Dr. Shea.
Well, it's not that tricky. Just William Gibson should be sufficient. That's my first and last name. I don't have to include my my middle name. Although it would be better if I included my middle name. More people know me as Ray.
Right.
Or Ray Gibson. If people do know you as Ray Gibson, and you get enough votes to get to the general, in other words, if you're running for senator and Ray Gibson, the write-in, is number 15 on the, as far as how many votes you received, then it would be up to the commissioners to decide if that Ray Gibson is the William R. Gibson.
I see. Now, the other question I have, Maria, is how many candidates do you have right now senatorially on the Republican side?
19.
19. So, Ray, and what about the Democrat?
20.
20. So, Ray, you probably get a better chance on the Republican side.
Well, we only need to beat on the Republican side. I'd only need to beat four people, right, or five to make it comfortable. But I've seen the Democratic side of the ballot. I could beat about 10, I think. I mean, if I really tried. Now, Maria, Tom asked another interesting question in this academic process that we're going through right now. It doesn't have to be William Raymond Gibson or Ray Gibson, but if somebody were to do a write-in, say, for Tom Shea, if there's a distinction between writing him in on the Democratic side and writing him in on the Republican side, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
So it's not like at the end of the day the commission would take all of the write-ins on the Republican side and all the Democratic side, add them together. You would only be counted on the party sides, right, in the primary.
Right. So there will be so many votes for Ray Gibson on the Democrat side, and there will be so many votes for Ray Gibson on the Republican side. At this point, I won't be able to answer it. I'm going to say that off the top of my head, they won't be together.
That's my thinking. That's my recollection from previous conversations. Same thing. If you put me down, if 20 people put me down as write-in on the for senator, and 10 people put me down as a write-in for the governor, those are also separate cast ballots, right? I mean, it's not like those get added together.
That's correct.
Okay, so stay on the same side of the ballot and stay in the same office. So if you want me to be a senator on the Republican side or appear on the Republican general ballot, write me in on the Republican side and nowhere else. Don't put me down for Congress. Don't put me down for public auditor. Don't put me down for anything but senator.
Starting to sound like you're kind of into it, man.
Now,
for academic purposes only.
Jim Atkins has a question. What about Jim? You answer the question.
Well, what happens if you were to go and someone were to write you in as an independent?
Exactly.
Oh, it just the whole concept of running as an independent candidate on Guam is cursed. So keep me in a party.
Yes, and there on the ballot for the primary election, there is no column for independent.
Okay. Can you write it in? Say Ray Gibson Independent.
Yes, you can. But Dr. Shea?
Yeah.
But Dr. Shea?
Yeah.
All the write-ins will not be counted immediately unless there is a chance that it will change the results of the election.
Of course, understood. Now, what about the other question is, well, I think Jim probably can answer that. But I think it's a good exercise because we don't, we write people in all the time, but we don't really get educated about this election process. So thank you, Maria, for answering those questions.
Yep. Doc, I appreciate you bringing it up. I think it's a fun conversation to have in the morning, and just as close as we are to the primary election. And between you and Jim, have you decided who's going to win the Democratic gubernatorial race?
Me and Jim, we're talking about it every morning when I walk with Jim. Well, I tell you what, though, we don't like the tax increases because we pay our taxes and we see people getting QCs, and we don't like that.
Well, I understand. I understand. Hey, we'll talk about that and plenty more. Maria, I'm going to let you get ready for work. I'll see you soon.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right.
Hey, Ray, one last comment.
Sure.
What the senators don't understand is this, okay? When you increase the taxes, what you're also doing is giving a bigger tax break to those people who have got QCs. I don't know if they've noticed that, okay? So I don't think they went through. And I wrote the governor an email the other day, just yesterday. I said he should veto the bill. Because in the current legislative budget bill, right, they left the mothers and the babies behind. You don't pass a budget bill to leave mothers and babies behind. That's a no. So whoever voted for that bill and that left mothers and babies behind, we're looking at that very carefully. And then you just have to keep moms and babies always behind your mind when you're passing a budget bill.
Well, especially and you and I have had this conversation when we're talking about Guam Memorial Hospital. I believe that the maternity ward is where the cash register rings at GMH and where a ton of revenue is made. So let's turn that into a real profit center for GMH and help take care of some of the other things. Tom, I got to run. I'll see you pretty soon. Tell Jim I appreciate you guys hanging out this morning.
Yeah, and about Governor Calvo, I encourage him, veto the bill. It's back to work.
It's absolutely possible that he will. I know that they're going to be looking at it chapter and verse, and I know that there are probably still some things in there that they don't like. Personally, for me, it's almost it just feels imprudent here. The idea that we were able to close this gap by putting in or writing in on a request for an additional $10 million. I mean, there's confidence that we're going to get it, but I don't know. It just feels like what have they told us all of our lives? Don't count your chickens before they hatch. A bird in the hand is worth two in the bush, or something like that. It's one of those things that needed explaining when I was a kid, but I finally get to understand it. It's whatever you are in possession of is more valuable than the thing that you think might be in there. So don't get rid of this until you know for sure what's going on there. 6:54 in the morning, and I will try to do this for you as often as I can to let you know where I think there might be some traffic issues, and we do see some traffic issues again around Ukadu High School. Hopefully the mayor's got some people out there at those intersections helping people through into the different car lines. But northbound, southbound on Route 3 towards Marine Corps Drive and around Ukadu is beginning to snag up. From the Chicken Joy intersection, but the 16 and 1, the Micronesia Mall, to the intersection, turning into to Route 3, we're seeing some snags and some buildups through there. Again, around John F. Kennedy area is beginning to get fat and thick. And I'm looking at a place near Go Play, I want to say near Malakuti's place, that looks like it's starting to get a little bit choppy. 6:55 in the morning. That's not a regularly scheduled traffic report. But I think you're going to need a little bit more of that kind of thing as we make our way through today. Coming up in the next hour of the program, we got the usual stuff. We'll take a look at the markets and see where oil is. And today's your very, very lucky day, Jerry Roberts. I got two Jerry Roberts for you. We've got him on with the extra point, and then he's in the Daily Post as well. And it's a terrible set of headlines with which to win a war with. But I tell you what, the newspaper wars are over here this morning. Front page of the Pacific Daily News says, missing hiker's bag found. That happened relatively early in the evening yesterday. Of course, we know that Xavier's body was found, and the Daily Post seems to have gotten that one right there in the front pages. So I was talking about traffic a few minutes ago. And I'm wondering how this is going to affect us. We're pointing out that Route 8 is getting some love here. Dave Dueña says, well, of course we're filling in potholes. It's an election year. Everybody wants to be able to say, look at me. Look at what my administration did. I was a senator in the 34th Guam legislature. We finally fixed the road on Route 8. It was never, ever perfect. It was there were a couple of places where I'm sorry, I'm getting distracted by all these people writing in now, talking about me being a write-in. Stop it. Cut it out. That was purely for academic purposes, just entertainment.
It seems to me that the procedure being what it is, a write-in ballot is pretty much a wasted ballot. They won't even count it unless they think you've got enough
Unless
votes to have
unless
a
it'll
difference.
make a difference.
Which means all those ballots that have been written on are dead.
Well, all of the votes will count, but the write-ins for me might not count. I mean, if it turns out to be insignificant, if it turns out to be just like me and my running friends, that's the only people that wrote me in. If it turns out to be insignificant, then that's okay. But so those votes won't count. The other 12 or 13 or 14 people that folks voted for will count.
See, I think people aren't really taking a good look at this. If they write you in and you win, that means I got to do the show. It'd just be a disaster.
No,
Dogs and cats together.
we wouldn't have. I would make it so because I would be one of the oldest guys in there, right? So I mean, if I won, I think it'd be me and Jimmy Espaldon and Joe S. would be the seniors.
Who would hold the paddle?
At the definitely me, me. I will. And so I would be the adult supervision there, and I would be the one that makes the rules. Nice. So it would be okay. This is what we're doing. We're having session at Moses. That's where we're having. We're going to take the place over. We're all getting chorizo burgers and acais, and that's what we're doing for session tonight. We're going to be able to knock out a budget in about half hour, 45 minutes.
Even if you don't,
a couple hours, right? Depending on how long it takes the kitchen crew to get the food out. They get really good seared ahi at Moses. That make a great snack for some of this. And it would we do it that way, and then Joseph and Augustin wouldn't have to call for breaks all the time. You ever notice that if you watch session and they're going into lunchtime or they're going into dinner time, Joe S is always the guy that calls for a break. I think it's time that we take a break from session there, Mr. Speaker. Can we do that? And you can almost hear his stomach growling when he says that. It's a little stomach making this Mr. Speaker noise. Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker. This is Joe S.'s stomach. It's time for us to take a break. All right. So I'm sorry. Totally distracted. So just anything that you heard in the last hour of the program, if it wasn't in the news, forget it. We'll get to the really weighty stuff, the really important stuff in the next hour of the program. It's 6:59 and change. The radio station is KUSG. Again, make a note of it. Thanks, everybody on Facebook Live. Great to have you there. And we'll talk about more junk in the next hour of the program. Stick around, bro.
One of the president's frequent targets is fired by the FBI. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. Peter Strzok, now a former FBI agent, because of anti-Trump text messages. But Strzok's attorney says he shouldn't have been fired. Fox's Jared Halpern, live in Washington.
Now, Peter Strzok was fired on Friday, his attorney says, despite a recommendation from the FBI's Office of Professional Responsibility that Strzok simply be demoted and suspended for 60 days. Strzok had been removed from the Russia investigation after anti-Trump text messages were revealed last year. Strzok also played a key role in the Hillary Clinton email investigation, though an inspector general's report found bias played no role in decisions made by investigators. Strzok's attorney calls the firing a punishment for political speech. Lisa.
Thanks, Jared. President Trump visiting Fort Drum in New York today to sign the bill that authorizes billions more in defense spending.
We have $716 billion to give you the finest planes and ships and tanks and missiles anywhere on earth. Nobody makes them like we do.
The bill also includes provisions aimed at countering Russian aggression, including election interference. Hundreds of leads and interviews, but still no sign of Iowa College student Molly Tibbetts, missing for nearly a month now.
As we have said before, we are considering all potential scenarios. It is possible that Molly came into contact with someone who has caused her harm.
Mitch Mortvedt, Assistant Director of Iowa's Division of Criminal Investigation, also urging patience and emphasizing that a disappearance is out of character for Tibbetts. She was house sitting for her boyfriend when she failed to show up for work after going out for a run the night before. Fourth loss in a row for the Dow, dropping 125 to 25,187. Fox News, fair and balanced.
We get it. Gas and utility rates keep rising with no end in sight. But with Double Play from GTA, you can get an extra sweet summer deal that'll save you extra cash. Sign up today and get 50 megabits per second with fiber home internet, unlimited talk and text, plus 25 gigabytes of wireless data. And new customers get the first month free with no contract. Save over $500 in the first year and get extra this summer with Double Play from GTA. Conditions apply. Visit GTA.net for more details.
As a mayor, I see the first-hand struggles our people face. I see the real effects of tax increases and what happens when our government cannot deliver the services timely. I've heard the promises made year after year. I know what it really means when these promises go unfulfilled. Who do you trust to finally get things done right? I'm in with Lou and Josh because they have the experience to lead us and deliver what they promise.
I'm Lou Leon Guerrero, and I approve this message.
Paid for by the committee to elect Leon Guerrero Tenorio. Tony Sanford, Treasurer.
Fire-ravaged California getting some high-profile attention from Washington. Fox's Jessica Rosenthal is live in L.A.
Yeah, Lisa, Interior Secretary Ryan Zinke said after touring the Carr Fire near Redding that California wildfires burned so hot in some places they sterilized the soil. He and Agriculture Secretary Sonny Perdue said prevention, acting ahead of time to manage forests, thin them, do prescribed burns, and remove dead trees needs to become a bigger priority.
Look, whether you're a proponent or an opponent, a believer, a non-believer of climate change, it doesn't relieve you of the responsibility to manage our public lands.
They say a change in spending on fires was authorized to begin next fall, and that will allow them to spend money more appropriately to manage public lands before fires start, Lisa.
Thanks, Jessica. Family members confirming today that singer Aretha Franklin is seriously ill. They're not confirming details, but she was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer some 7 years ago and had canceled her final 2 shows in March. Franklin is 76. Wrestling fans will know him as the Anvil.
But Jim the Anvil Neidhart stands between the World Wrestling Federation Championship opportunity of the Macho Man. He wants Hulk Hogan. He'll have to go through this man to get to the Hulkster.
Courtesy of the WWE Network. That's from a tussle with the Macho Man Randy Savage in 1989. Jim Neidhart has died. He was 63. Police say he had a fall that led to a head injury. He was also one of the founders of the WWF's Hart Foundation, along with his brother-in-law, Bret the Hitman Hart. Just getting word that prosecutors have rested their case against former Trump campaign chairman Paul Manafort on trial in federal court in Alexandria, Virginia over past business dealings. The defense has not said yet if it plans to call any witnesses. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News Radio.
Millions are making their fortunes in cryptocurrency. How about you? Learn to do it right the first time by coming to our free event at Onward Beach Resort Saturday, August 18th. This is not multi-level marketing. This is pure education. You missed making millions in Apple, Amazon, and Microsoft? Don't miss this. Come learn from the best in the crypto world. Call 671-678-5989 or go to guam.digitalgoldacademy.com. Call 671-678-5989. Do it now.
Apply today for First Hawaiian Bank's United Mileage Plus credit card. And upon approval, you will be entered to win 2 round-trip business class tickets on United. You'll also earn up to 30,000 bonus miles, 5,000 upon opening your new account, and 25,000 after spending $1,500 within 3 months. And you'll get 2 times the mileage on United ticket purchases. Apply by August 31, 2018. Stop by any branch or visit us online at FHB.com. Terms and conditions apply. Sweepstakes starts on July 1, 2018 and ends on August 31, 2018. Open to legal residents of Guam and the Commonwealth of the Northern Mariana Islands aged 18 years or older. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited. Visit www.fhb.com/United Sweepstakes for official rules and complete details. Member FDIC.
Security Title is honored to join in sponsoring Ray Gibson on The Point. My name is Alicia Blas from Agate, and this is where I start my day, listening to the voices of our community and sharing thoughts about issues that affect all of us. It all boils down to our people and our land. Putehi Igomamu. Protect your home. When purchasing or refinancing your home, remember to call the professionals at Security Title, just like you call Ray Gibson in the morning.
Our island is at a crossroads. The Gutierrez Bordallo team knows that you cannot cut primary government services. This is bad for our people, it's bad for business, and it's bad for tourism. As governor, he will use his experience and network of contacts to bring in those missing resources and fully fund the crucial services to our people. Please vote August 25th, Gutierrez Bordalio, and make Guam, Guam again.
I'm Carl Gutierrez, and I approve this message.
Half a day and good morning, Guam. News time here at The Point is 8 minutes past 7 a.m. this Tuesday morning. I'm Kevin Kerrigan. Here's a look now at some of the top stories from the Guam Daily Post. President Donald Trump signing the 2019 National Defense Authorization Act into law early this morning. The NDAA authorizes $448.5 million for military construction projects here on Guam in support of the ongoing buildup. Among the projects that have been funded are $75.6 million for X-ray wharf improvements and $141 million for the firing range up at Northwest Field. Half of that funding is authorized to be spent in the 2019 fiscal year. The law also provides flexibility for U.S. immigration to administer the H-2B visa program on island and extends the exemption from the temporary work requirement until December 31st, 2023. In other news, the three-day search for missing 15-year-old hiker Xavier Akima came to a close yesterday when his body was found about 1.5 miles from the Pago Bay Bridge around 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Xavier's backpack and phone were also found a few hours earlier, about 100 yards from the bridge along the Lonfit River near the Leo Palace Resort. The recovery of the boy's remains brought a tragic end to the hopes and prayers of friends, family, and the island community that had prayed for his safe return. And it followed a massive 3-day search that included Guam Fire Search and Rescue, Guam Police, the Guam Guard, the Coast Guard, and the Navy's search helicopter crew. Xavier, who was a junior at Father Duenas Memorial High School, had gone hiking with friends on Saturday when he was swept away while crossing the flooded Lonfit River. Governor Eddie Calvo issuing a statement extending condolences to the Xavier family, saying that the family is in their thoughts and prayers. We'll have more news after this.
Don't wait another day and waste another dollar. You can start saving today. At Guahan Insurance Services, we are here to help protect your investment and save you money. We offer insurance advising for business, car, and home insurance. So come and visit us at our new office at Camacho Landmark Center at Marine Corps Drive in Timoning, and let us show you that you can count on us for all your insurance needs. Call 475-1162.
Get a 20-ounce stainless steel Circle K Coffee Club tumbler. Just stop into any Circle K, sign up for our Power Pass rewards program, and after your purchase of 15 cups of premium coffee, any size, you get your tumbler for free. While supplies last, conditions apply. See store for details. Get a 20-ounce stainless steel Circle K Coffee Club tumbler. Just swipe your Power Pass key fob when you purchase Circle K Premium Coffee, any size. And after 15 cups, you'll get your tumbler for free. While supplies last, conditions apply. See store for details.
News time here at The Point is 11 minutes past 7 a.m. The three candidates for Guam's Attorney General position spoke their minds yesterday on some of the legal issues facing the island during a forum sponsored by the Guam Bar Association that took place at the Guam Museum. Attorneys Gary Gumatautau, Levin Camacho, and Doug Moylan were generally in agreement on tackling government corruption. Gumatautau said the Attorney General needs to reach out and make investigations happen. People are tired of corruption, he said, and fighting it is the job of the Attorney General. Camacho spoke about the need for the AG to prevent corruption and educate government agencies about their responsibilities. And Moylan said public corruption was the top priority when he first served as Guam's elected Attorney General back in the early 2000s. He said he would reform the government corruption division if he is reelected AG again. 54-year-old John Pong has been arrested on allegations of drunk driving with a minor in the vehicle. Police stopped Pong's vehicle Friday night after it was involved in a near collision in the Domino's Pizza parking lot in Dededo. According to the magistrate's complaint, officers noted that Pong had slurred speech, bloodshot and watery eyes, and smelled of alcohol. They saw an empty beer can in the back of the vehicle, and Pong reportedly admitted he had drunk a six-pack of beer. For these stories and more, log on to postguam.com or pick up a copy of today's Guam Daily Post. Here's Ray now with a look at weather.
7-11, partly cloudy skies and isolated showers. There's some thunderstorms today. Winds out of the east 10 to 15 miles an hour, increasing 15 to 20 tonight. Highs around 90 degrees. And this afternoon, things hold out the way they are right now. Max afternoon heat index will be about 103 degrees. Make sure the air conditioner is on and high when you get in the car. You want the air conditioner, you want it to be so loud, the air coming out of the vents, so you got to turn the radio up.
Yeah, I think today is a good time for an official vinyl seat warning.
Yeah, definitely. We got a couple of notes here. Lady D up in Jigo says back to back in front of Simon Sanchez High School, bumper to bumper in that area, and before too much longer, it'll slow down a little bit, and then next door over at the other school, FBLG, will chime in soon. And that will back up traffic a little bit more. The warnings over the next couple of days is get out of the house as early as you possibly can. Sunset tonight, 6:43. Sunrise tomorrow morning will be at 6:08. That's news and weather together here on The Point.
If you can dream uncommon design and unprecedented engineering, you define the 2018 Lexus. The boldly designed IS Sport Sedan's aggressive design stimulates the senses.
Advanced paddle shifting puts the exhilarating performance of the IS Sport Sedan at your fingertips. With deep, luxurious seating, the ES350 offers an ultimate level of comfort, while cutting-edge engineering delivers a thrilling drive.
Put yourself in a 2018 Lexus.
Now with special incentives.
At Atkins Kroll.
Hey, you're going to want to win one of those things. I got news. Win a 2019 Lexus ES350 and support the Red Cross. Raffle tickets are on sale at Atkins Scroll. Drawing is September 22nd, and you need not be present to win. Portions of the program brought to you by King's Restaurant. Are you hungry now? Of course. Yes, Ray, I'm always hungry. Well, go to King's. And you're going, but wait a second, it's still breakfast time. They don't care. There's no clock at King's. They just walk in and say, I heard today is, what's today? Is the synagogue? No. Meatloaf. Meatloaf is Thursday. It's Bistake tomorrow. Bistake tomorrow. You say, I heard it's Bistake tomorrow is the special. And they'll say, yeah, you want it now? And you say, okay, yes, because it's lunchtime for me. In my head, it's lunchtime. I identify as it's lunchtime. Pick 2 or pick 3 combo is working for you. Lunchtime at King's, kids.
Cheese curls and hot sauce, pantosta and coffee. Great alone, but better together. Here's another perfect pair for you. Docomo Pacific has created the Better Together bundle, combining 2 great services for one low price. Get unlimited local talk, text, and 20 gigs of data, plus unlimited home internet speed up to 20 megabits for $109 per month. You also get free installation and Galaxy A8 Plus when you sign up today. Mobile plus online from Docomo Pacific. Better Together. Some conditions apply. Call 688-KRC store for details.
7:14 in the morning. Portions of the program brought to you by FHB, First Hawaiian Bank, where it all starts with yes.
Hey there, it's me, your stomach, down here. You know, the one who can talk. Anyway, I was just at a yoga sesh with a few of the other stomachs, and mid-tree pose, everyone started talking about Subway's new savory rotisserie-style chicken Caesar signature wrap. It's a mouthful to say, I know, but with creamy Caesar dressing and double the rotisserie-style chicken. It's not the only thing that's full, if you know what I mean. It's me. I'm the one that's full. Because I'm a stomach. That's kind of what I do. Subway, make it what you want. Double meat based on average 6-inch sub.
The Ray Gibson Show, your new News Talk headquarters. Call now, 888-TALK. That's 888-8255.
Traffic building in all kinds of places, but definitely slowing down around the big school areas. Check around Estumbo, Nukadu, and John F. Kennedy High School. Traffic beginning to, traffic around Route 1, where we are here in Upper Tumon. It looks like that has cleared up for the most part because, frankly, the first bell was at 6:45 at John F. Kennedy High School. So that should be getting people through the downtown area a little bit faster. Hey, good morning and happy first day of school to the moms and dads that have been getting ready with the kids over the last couple of weeks or yesterday, whichever the case may be. When did you start shopping for your back-to-school supplies? This morning. Kmart's 24 hours a day, right?
Yeah, I stopped by there about 11 yesterday because I had to pick up a couple of things
Oh,
for
at
my
Kmart?
new cat. Yeah, and it actually wasn't bad at that point, but that's still kind of early. I'm sure by the afternoon it changed.
Yeah, it was crazy. Well, a friend of mine was talking the other day, Friday, And she had gone to Kmart for some supplies, and among the supplies are these little doggy pads. You know, you went there for the cat, so they've got these. Oh my God, I love these dogs. No, I don't. No, I don't love those dogs. You're not going to make me fall in love with the dogs. Sorry, inside thing. So she went to go get these doggy pads, and left and got home and found that everything else made it into the bag except the doggy pads. Ooh. And she says, well, I have to go back. I said, you're going to go back to Kmart on payday Friday before back to school? And she had this look like, it's either that or I have to clean up cat pee and cat poo, or dog poo and dog pee with my hands. No! But she braved it, and she went back, absolutely got the stuff. So I guess it could not have been that bad. Maybe she used the locals checkout lane. You know, they have one of those over at Kmart, right?
No.
No, they don't, but they should.
Yeah.
There should be one. 717.
I don't even know if I would qualify for it. You know, I walk in there and there's a Holly guy. No, you go stand in a long line, bro.
Good enough. I'm just saying. It just needs to be a distinction made. And can we have I want another line at Kmart. I want to be in the line where the guy in front of me has a price tag on everything he bought.
That would imagine.
You know, just that one little thing.
I need John Lennon.
Because you get 20. You ever do that? You're at Kmart and you get into one. There's nobody there. It's like one guy and he's there at the thing at the register and you're going, this is my lucky day. I don't have to line up behind 20 tourists or anything like. And then you get behind him and you realize that he bought a widget and he doesn't know what aisle it came from. He's got this widget in front of him. There's no price tag and they got to call in 20 managers. In the meantime, all of the lines that you could have gotten into but didn't because there were 3 or 4 people, they're going at 100 miles an hour. It's just money flying up in the air and going into the cash registers.
They all know how to work the automatic check.
It's a Broadway line for and you're stuck behind the guy with the anyway. That's what we need. Okay, where was I? Oh, time to take a look at what happened on the market. The lady on Fox News said it was a bad day on all of the markets. Is it because they finally got around to firing Stroke, whatever his name is? All right, where are we? The S&P 500, 2821. They're off by 11 points. This is the thing. Everybody gets breathless over the down days, but look at this. Is it 0.4%? How about the Nasdaq off at 7819? They're off by 19 points, or a quarter of a 0.1%. The Dow Jones Industrial Average, lost 125 points. The market has got 25,000 units in it, right? 25,187, and they're off by 0.5%. That's not a big deal. FTSE is down. Nikkei's down, Hang Seng's down, the Shanghai is down, and so is the DAX. But you know what? It's Tuesday. It'll come back. Where are we? Oil at 67.41 or so. Let me see. That's up a hair from earlier today, and still 73.24. I don't have any updated figures on Tapas, but that was off by like $2.50 yesterday. So hopefully that is a trend that we'll be able to maintain over the long term. Buy supplies at Standard or National Kmart takes too much energy and patience. Last time I went to Kmart, I got mugged in the junk food aisle by tourists. Thankfully, my kids saved me. That'll happen, boy. You ever notice that? They've got the junk food aisle. Actually, the junk food aisles. And I'm one of those. I spend a lot of time in there. Don't buy everything I want, but I do spend a lot of time in the junk food aisles because they won't let me around where the condoms are. 20 after 7 o'clock in the morning. Every once in a while, I just throw words out like that just to see if you're awake. All right? 20 after 7 o'clock in time for Jerry Roberts to do today's Extra Point.
Everybody knows that workplace gossip isn't so good for an organization. But, well, what's really the deal with gossip? I'm Jerry Roberts, and let's see if we can clear that up today on the Extra Point. Some people think of gossip as being the juicy, perhaps even slanderous tidbits of info about another person's personal or professional activities. This can be a mixture of truth, half-truth, and even untruth. Gossip can be thought of as just telling it like it is, while others see it as a method of attacking another person or, in some cases, the organization as a whole. Some experts even go so far as to position workplace gossip as a form of workplace bullying, workplace violence. Gossip is no joke. Some of the negatives are lost productivity, loss of trust and morale, anxiety and stress, divisiveness, feelings that are bent out of shape, ruin relationships, and even people getting fed up and quitting. In a December 2013 ruling, National Labor Relations Board Judge Donna Dawson struck down what she called an overly broad no-gossip policy at Loras Technical Institute in Atlanta. Loras had fired a woman because she discussed an Equal Employment Opportunity Commission complaint she had filed alleging sexual harassment and retaliation by her manager. The Institute had a restrictive no-gossip policy that banned talking about someone's personal or professional life when the person or his or her manager wasn't present. Among other things, the policy also prohibited the discussion of work issues and conditions of employment with other employees. The judge concluded that the policy violated the National Labor Relations Act. If you look to outlaw all forms of gossip, you'd be wise to think twice in light of this ruling. Your rules on gossip should make it clear that you're not trying to stifle and prevent the worker's right to discuss compensation, hours, overall working conditions, and matters of concern for the individual and the organization. If you go too far and your restrictions are too broad, you may end up with an overall position that is unenforceable. Make it clear what you want to get rid of, the negative factors we discussed. With legal counsel, come up with your definition of what gossip is, its effects, and why the organization wants to protect all workers from those dangers. Most people who participate in gossip don't believe there's any harm in it. I've heard folks say, "We're just having fun. We don't mean anything by it." Well, tell that to the people who are the targets of the gossip and who aren't having as much fun. Employers must address this issue, especially when it is often characterized as harassment. Not doing so can lead to legal action in extreme cases. That said, don't think that you're going to get rid of all workplace gossip. That's unlikely. Just identify where the win is and go for it. That's the Extra Point. Get out there and make something good happen today. For 93.3 and The Ray Gibson Show, I'm Jerry Roberts.
Yeah, whatever you heard, it's true. 7:23 in the morning, and that's Jerry Roberts with his vocal extra point. He does a thing over in the Daily Post. There's another version of Jerry Roberts that you can get in print. Today he talks about being lost in the search for perfection, and I gravitate towards this because every once in a while I have to step away from a project and say, that's fine. It's fine. You can finesse the heck out of a lot of things, but at some point you need to say, I've got enough done here. I need to move on to the next thing. And also gravitate to the topic that he writes about this morning because he actually uses my name in print, and I like that. So get a double dose of Jerry Roberts here on The Point and also on the Guam Daily Post as well. At 7:24, headlines with Kevin Kerrigan is coming up.
Sizzling hot, that's what our special summer loan is, with rates as low as 4% and amounts up to $50,000. You can use your money for whatever you want, like back to school expenses, tuition, travel, or paying down expensive credit cards. A sizzling hot special summer loan with great rates as low as 4% at Bank Pacific today.
Bank Pacific, where others put branches, we place roots.
Equal Credit Opportunity Lender. Conditions apply. As low as 4% APR.
Just looking at that. Route 3, ugly this morning up around the Ukadu area. Still the traffic moving from the Estumbo into that area. And we're going to see a little bit more traffic coming out of Dededo. Going to snag just before you get to Waiseng Song. And there's a couple of feeder roads through there as well. Route 27 Alpha that should take you there onto Marine Corps Drive. But as I say, expect some delays if you are in and around the villages. Simon Sanchez High School, FBLG, going to get crazy. I was telling you that things had slowed down a little bit here in front of us on DPW and the Kmart JFK area. Well, it looks like it's building up again. You might actually see things slow down. Traffic on Route 16 making that turn at Ocean Vista, whether you're headed whether you're headed into the Dededo area or whether you're trying to get through the airport road. I think you're going to see some slowing down as you get through there. Let me see here. Navy Hospital still in the clear. I was looking at a line of traffic. There it is, trying to get into Naval Base down in Sumai, and it's definitely slowing down there. Also slowed down a little bit in front of Anderson Air Force Base, but it looks like that's clearing up. A lot of cars, but they seem to be moving pretty quick. 7:26, that's right now traffic on The Point.
Taste the sizzle at Chili's with our new fajita flavors. Our signature fajitas are served with sliced bell peppers, caramelized onions, topped with chipotle garlic butter, and chopped cilantro. Build your fajita with over 16 ounces of tender grilled chicken, juicy steak, and a dozen pieces of seasoned grilled shrimp in the family fajita trio. All served with warm flour tortillas and fresh toppings like mixed cheese, guacamole, salsa, and pico de gallo. Experience bold, sizzling fajita flavors only at Chili's. More life happens here.
What's that? You see some rain coming in? Is it going to be thunder? Is it going to be lightning? Oh,
Yeah,
my God,
actually.
the kids are at the bus stops, and they don't have any walls or windows or anything like that. What's going to prevent them from getting drenched on this first day of school?
Right. Looks like mostly south side of the island are going to get this one, but everybody, looking like it going to be a little damp drive to school and work.
Hey, listen, if you're the mom or dad and are worried about the kid, because you sent them out an hour ago, right? I already sent them to the bus stop. Well, maybe this kind of morning you might want to swing by the bus stop, leave the house a little bit early. So much for that, 7:27, but swing by the bus stop if the kids are still there. Let them ride to school with you. Or are you already at that stage with the kids where, it's okay, Mom. Why don't you just drop me off?
Maybe the kids are at that stage with their parents.
But I don't want you to drop me off like at school. Could you drop me off like, I don't know, at the street before the school? There's a coconut tree before the school. I don't want to be seen with you guys. Could you just, I want to, just walk in with my friends. Could you just do that for me? Because that got old after a while. Even for me. God bless. I miss my mother desperately, and I have great memories of her dropping me off on the first days of school. But when I finally got to Father Duenas Memorial, I didn't want my mom to drop me off at school, because you know why? Because I knew my friends. My mom was pretty lady, and my friends would always, because it's what we did, we just make comments about people's moms. Hey, dude. Hey, Mike. Your mom's hot.
They had a song about that one.
I'm pretty sure they do. Anyway, 7:28 in the morning. Maybe that's where we are with the dropping off of the kids here today. A couple of interesting things took place yesterday. Not a whole lot of time for me to talk about it. They had the forum at the museum. Did you go to that? Did you watch it? Did you pay any attention to Gary Frank and Levin and Doug Moylan?
Interesting debate, huh?
In that, well, it was an interesting forum. I didn't necessarily hear a whole lot of,
I keep
in your
calling
face.
this debate.
Yeah,
It's a forum.
I can hardly wait. Well, I know the Rotary Club is going to be doing one, but is it a forum style or is it going to be an actual debate?
I don't know.
Yeah, I gotta see what I can find out. Cause Levin and I ran into Levin at a fundy last night, and we got to talking about it. And what did you think? He's well, it's interesting. There's three pretty interesting characters that are running for the Attorney General's office, and there's a lot of different things, different strengths and weaknesses and just things about their character that I think for people that are in the legal game make it kind of interesting to watch and say, which one of these guys would you like to see in charge of things over at the Attorney General's office? And I think the Levin's only problem is he's the youngest of the bunch. So in terms of experience in the field and certainly in government service, he's a little bit handicapped there. But he's got the JD behind his name, so he ought to be he can do the legal work required of being an attorney general or working in that office. Then you get guys like Doug Moylan, who's already had the job, lightning rod for controversy, and the only thing that I'm listening to this thing while I'm doing other work yesterday, and so I'm listening, and I thought I heard Doug Moylan talk about Eric the Eagle. And I thought, Doug, see me next time you do something like that. You don't need to talk about Eric the Eagle. That was, that was just fun stuff between me and you and back in the day. And, whenever we talk about Eric the Eagle, or after a while, whenever we'd bring up Doug Moylan in any context, serious or otherwise, there was always the time where my producer would play the chicken dance song from the weddings.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, so if he wins, we got to get that back on a hotkey.
Oh, yeah.
That way we can just, at will, just play the thing, bang. And today, Doug Moylan, Attorney General Doug Moylan. So there was that, and then Gary Frank unbelievably direct. You know, it's funny the things that people take away from the conversation about this forum is there were a lot of questions that were asked, but the ones that stand out in everybody's mind that I talked to when I asked about what did you think of the forum had to do with the gun grab at the Glock party. Everybody kind of keyed in on that thing, and virtually everything that has been written about it this morning has keyed in on those points as well, and really a place where we differentiate the differences in the characters and the very aggressive nature of Gary Frank Gumatautau. Is that what you want to hear? The guy grabbed a gun, grab a gun, go to jail. That's what he said. That's what the guy said, and didn't seem to think there needed to be anything more than the admissions that had already been on the news and on television. So ponder that, why don't you? And then there is another interesting. What was Jerry's thing about? Was gossip a few minutes ago? Hi, my name is Ray Gibson. I run a morning show that is made up of virtually all political gossip, and this is drive time for political gossip around here. And what I don't know if you heard it. And it might be one of those things. Do you remember the commercial that we played in the 6:02 break this morning? It was a Lou Leon Guerrero commercial. Oh, yes. But it was interesting because of the person in the Lou Leon Guerrero commercial. You remember that? Carlotta Leon Guerrero. Might want to play a little bit and piece of that a little bit later on. Hey, it's 7:32 in the morning. Headquarters for Fox News Live. Also headquarters for news from the Guam Daily Post. With that, here's Kevin Kerrigan.
Half a day and good morning, Guam. And the headlines from the Guam Daily Post this morning: the Justice Department awarding $1.9 million to the Guam Attorney General's office to support assistance programs for the victims of crime. About $1.8 million of that amount meant to provide crisis counseling, shelter assistance, and therapy. The remaining $33,000 will be used to provide financial assistance and reimbursement to the victims of crime. Congresswoman Madeline Bordallo announcing the grant award, saying the funds will help bring comfort to victims and their families. The Office of the Attorney General remaining mum about its investigation into the gun-grabbing incident involving Lieutenant Governor Ray Tenorio in response to a request for an update on the status of the investigation from Public Safety Committee Chair Senator Talina Nelson last week. Attorney General Elizabeth Barrett Anderson, in a one-sentence response, confirmed that she had received Senator Nelson's letter, but she was unable to comment. Nelson asked the AG to say when the investigation might be completed, writing that a resolution is needed to ensure fairness for the community as well as for Lieutenant Governor Tenorio. Jesse Leon Guerrero behind bars again after testing positive for meth use and repeatedly failing to report for subsequent drug testing. Leon Guerrero indicted on federal charges of conspiracy to possess and distribute methamphetamine. He was released into the custody of his 72-year-old father in April, but according to court documents, he tested positive for meth use on June 14th. He denied using the drug, but tested positive again on June 20th, after which he failed to report for subsequent drug testing, at one point telling a probation officer that he forgot his supervised release was revoked and he was sent back to jail. For these stories and more, log on to postguam.com or pick up a copy of today's Guam Daily Post.
It's 7:34. That's iConnect time, and here's a simple thing. They are the practical choice. You think about iConnect, think about all the different ways that they can help you with mobile and internet and even push-to-talk plans. They are the practical choice.
Join Kathy and her team at Furniture Kathy Style for their grand opening this week. Their store is packed with fabulous furniture from brand names like Ashley, Klausner, Violino Leathers, and more, with prices that would blow your mind. Huge discounts throughout the store, such as their 4-piece bedroom set from Holland House, starting at $5.99. If you're looking for quality, style, and affordable furniture, come into Furniture Kathy Style in Hagåtña, open every day from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m.
Portions of the program brought to you by APL. That's short for American President Lines. APL is shipping the future.
Family Finance has been serving the people of Guam since 1959, and they'll continue to be there for you in the years to come. Whether you're looking to get a personal loan for that summer vacation or paying off those long overdue bills, Family Finance has got you covered. Apply for a personal loan from $1,000 up to $3,500 by calling Family Finance in Hagåtña at 475-4545, Upper Tuon 647-5626, or in Dededo 633-4473. Family Finance has been serving the people of Guam since 1959.
Portions of the program also brought to you by MRE. That's Micronesia Renewable Energy.
Our workforce is changing, and our students need to be prepared for the challenges that are ahead. I graduated high school at GCC when we could learn a trade and even prepare for college. Our students deserve schools that are safe and books and resources that help prepare them for their future.
A Leon Guerrero Tenorio administration will rebuild Simon Sanchez, fix our schools, integrate technology in the classroom, and expand access to trades. I'm in to help get us there, and we humbly ask for your vote.
I'm Leon Guerrero, and I approve this message.
Paid for by the committee to elect Leon Guerrero Tenorio. Tony Sanford, Treasurer.
Almost over, guys. It's 7:36, and we're in the midst of drive time, and it's a crazy drive time. First day of school for 30,000 kids and the buses and the parents that are driving them to school today, and that's why you're going to see backups generally wherever some of the bigger schools are. Ukadu, Route 3 has been rock solid all morning long. Lots of slowing down in that area. Might find a couple of places inside Dededo Village itself that are leading up to schools that are also starting to snag up as we go through all of this. And let me see. Normally we get traffic starting to build through at the 7-Day Supermarket area. That is starting to get a little bit heavier. And we're seeing a slowdown, buildup of traffic, rather, over at the Chicken Joy intersection. That thing has been running hot and cold all morning long. Traffic going up through the construction into Route 3. Anything else that you need to know about up around the JFK Kmart area is a little bit heavy. And Route 16 into Machechi and then onto the Teadsman Parkway is also a little bit snaggy here this morning. 8, 10, and 16, that's where my eye has been drawn to this morning. You're going to experience slowing down in front of Happy Mart. You make it through the intersection, and then it's going to slow down again just as you're passing that intersection until you get into that one good spot that gets you onto Teadsman. Why we didn't build an access road over the summer, I don't know. Remember, I asked, what was the name of the place? Penguin Drive or something like that? The one connector from Route 10 directly across that intersection. There is a way to get from Route 10. All you need is a new signal light or something like that, and that would take you across Route 8 and on to Teadsman. Did they do that over the summer? No. Anyway, I do have some snagging on traffic heading towards Route 8, 10, and 16 on Route 10. So be aware that there might be some traffic slowing you down here. Don't be surprised. Just be aware. Build in some extra time or leave late.
Say hello to high-speed data on the widest 4G LTE network in the Marianas. We've just upped your prepaid data, so make your big plans bigger with 1 gigabyte of data per day. Bigger prepaid data for your big plans that just keep getting better. Enjoy high-speed data and unlimited local talk and text on the widest 4G LTE network in the Marianas. Text LTE to 3282, select a plan, and enjoy 1 gigabyte of data per day. Docomo Pacific, better together. Some conditions apply.
Yvette Ibanez is watching on the Facebook Live. I see Andy Tidinko and Ed and Karen Untalan. Carl with a K, Pangilinan is there, and Terry Pablo Malari. Good to see you chiming in this morning and just letting me know that you're there. It's always nice. Neil Weir and Renzo Osborne. Frank Pruce is on the Facebook Live as well. It's one of my favorite things in the whole wide world. I love this. You get great opportunities to be able to see each other. You guys can converse with each other inside the little chat mode on the side, or direct questions or comments to me as well. Facebook and now WhatsApp, 988-5874. That's 988-5874. Great way to be able to send me your thoughts on some of the things I was talking about. I'd mentioned the forum yesterday and the From the Hip review from some. Frank was not on his game. And you know, maybe that little sit-down thing, that little couchy thing that they had going on, maybe that wasn't good for him. Maybe he's a little bit more... My recollection, when he was running as lieutenant governor with Carl Gutierrez, he's one of these guys, he likes to lean into the conversation. So maybe that just, maybe just the whole stage thing wasn't working out for him. She says, Levin was weaker than I expected. Dougie still got it. Even though he brought up Eric the Eagle. Sorry, didn't mean to throw it. Don't throw the technology. I'm just saying. It would not have been one of the things that I brought up here. For some people, Eric the Eagle was kind of the height of, if you will, the nonsense of that first elected Attorney General position. Really? Do we need that? Jeff Jones, Hapadude, Yuka Oguma from Guahan Insurance, Renee and Pat Taitugui. Nice to have you online as well. So, as I said, Jerry Roberts, in a conversation on his Extra Point this morning about gossip, and gossip in the office. I don't think that you're ever going to be able to get away from that. And then we run into a different kind of level of gossip. And every 2 years or so, we get into the heavy stuff on Guam. And it's political gossip, if you will. And there's a lot of that. As I said, I went to a fundraiser last night for Telena. And she thoroughly embarrassed me, and I'll tell you that story offline one day. But had a wonderful time and talked with a number of people, and not all of them were dyed-in-the-wool political operatives. And they all come up to me, like I said, because they think I've got this sacred knowledge, like I know what's going to happen in this gubernatorial race. And so the guy asked me, he says, "Who do you think is ahead?" And I said, "I don't think anybody is ahead right now. I feel like Lou's got something going, but I don't know that she's got something going with Democrats. I think one of the tactics that they triggered not that long ago, and you'll remember we had the conversation. One of the tactics that they triggered was to try to be as pretty as possible, if you will, to Republican voters. So when she was at the forum over at the chamber, I thought she said all the right things. When she was giving Frank Uggan a hard time about wanting to put a receiver over at Guam Memorial Hospital, I thought she said and did the right things because she channeled, if you will, the spirits of Felix Camacho and Mike Cruz, both Republicans. Why would you do that? I mean, surely there might have been other Democrats that you could have brought into the conversation, but no, she brought up, number one is Felix Camacho, 8 years, the governor of Guam, and the son of the first elected governor of Guam, and the brother of Mary Torres, who will never, ever, ever be without a job if she wants to continue to run as a senator over at the legislature. She's the scion, if you will, of the Republican Party. So I thought that was very, very well calculated and well orchestrated and led me to believe that among the opportunities for the Democrats to pull ahead from each other, whether it's in these little straw polls that may or may not be taking place around here, is that you start courting Republicans. And so if you were listening earlier, you might have heard a commercial that Lou Leon Guerrero is running now that features the voice of Carlotta Leon Guerrero. Car's a Republican. She is of a Republican stripe, and she says so. I'm a Republican for Lou Leon Guerrero or something like that. And so if you ask me, that's a juicy piece of political gossip. How many more are out there? How many more are like her, are like Carlotta? I referred to them as convertible Republicans. And so I'm wondering, I was doing the thumbnail exercise with a buddy on the WhatsApp yesterday. And among the things that I suppose we need to get answered here between now and election time, by the way, somebody had asked me about surveys, and I know that there is some research that is being conducted out there. I don't trust any of it. I don't trust any. A couple of weeks ago, there were 4 pages. Did you see that from some school out in the state somewhere? You remember that? And it showed it was Frank in the lead for 1 week, Frank in the lead for another week, and then Carl in the lead in 1 week, and Carl in the lead in the 4th week. But there was never anybody that
it's a horse race
bothered to substantiate where it came from, who'd conducted the research. And so I decided that maybe it was a hoax. I decided that maybe this is one of those things.
Could well be. In the age of social media.
I've got a word processor. I mean, I've got it's the best word processor in the world because it's free. And it's Google. So I can go to Google and create any number of documents that look like they had been published, maybe by a university, maybe by some kind of survey house, and then just vomit that on the internet and see what people say. Yeah. It's what we've referred to many times as fake news, and I want you to be careful about that. You found him. We found Glenn Leon Guerrero. Hafalay.
Hey, Ray.
How you
doing, man?
I'm okay. Where you been?
Oh, I've been on vacation. I've been on a couple of weeks vacation. Anyway, I've been gone for a while, but thanks for...
No, we missed you. Well, tell you what, just a word here. How are your guys in the bus operations doing this morning? Was it crazy? Was it hectic?
Yeah, we've got 99 bus drivers. Got about 130 buses. We're looking to beef up, and I just talked to Lester yesterday, so we're looking to get a few more bus drivers. I think that should ease the pain for us anyways.
Les can drive a bus?
No. But he can give me money to hire guys that can drive the bus.
All right. Well, is there a hiring freeze? We're not doing a hiring freeze on bus drivers, right? That hasn't gone into any kind of effect yet?
No. Actually, the current budget they're reviewing is going to allow us to do hiring bus drivers as well as other guys like fire and police guys and nurses and teachers, etc.
Okay.
But yeah. They kicked it back to us because we weren't sure what kind of a budget we were looking at. And now that something's been passed, we can now move forward with something.
Okay, so 99 guys to drive the 100 and some odd buses that you've got, and so there might be some opportunities, some issues with buses picking up, dropping off, and then coming back, looping back to pick up more kids to drop them off.
No. I think what has happened, a change between last calendar school year and this school year, is that they redistricted their schools, and we're finding that the routes are smaller and shorter. So it's better for now. And we were down to about 90. When we get down to 90, 89, then I get a lot of phone calls. But this is not sustainable at 99. I want to get to 130. Once I get to 130, then I don't think we should have
everybody be comfortable. We'll see what the budget looks like for next year. Now, a couple of other things, and I had noticed this recently, is the amount of work that's being done on Route 8. I saw a lot of black construction crews out there marking off some of these speed dimples, these laterals that had been cut across Route 8 over the years, and it looked to me like they were digging them out and then filling them in, patching them in with concrete. Does that describe the work as you know it?
It should be, but you said black because the contract was issued to Hawaiian Rock. Maybe they got a subcontract with the.
And I might have confused the two of them. That's possible as well.
Okay.
But at any rate, so work is being done on Route 8, and again to smooth out the laterals.
Yes. Well, all the potholes, not all of them, but we're going to do. Their project is about a $7 million project. And that includes the Route 8. It includes the tri-intersection. It includes the non-JAF portion that we did 2 years ago or 3 years ago on Marine Corps Drive, in Vigo and in Aston and PD. So, yeah.
There's a lot of work, clearly a lot of work that is getting done. So in those areas, the work should be a lot smoother. Do you know when they're going to get to 8, 10, and 16? Sure, would have been better if they'd have gotten to that before the start of the school year. In fact, I'm looking at the intersection now on my traffic gizmo. I've got traffic backed up from about the post office to the intersection, and working the same way from Old Price Road towards 8, 10, and 16. So that area certainly needs some attention.
Yeah, I don't have the schedule, but I know I talked to you about once we do that. I'm going to let you guys know. So let me get to work on that, and I'll find out when that's scheduled to get going.
And then the other thing, Glenn, I noticed in the newspaper this morning, Daily Post, page 5, virtually half of the newspaper page is devoted to an IFB that you have put out for Route 14 resurfacing from Marine Corps Drive to the Archbishop Felix Berto Flores Circle.
Yes. So what we're going to do, I talked to you about this before, road dieting.
Yeah.
So we're going to go from 3 lanes. I mean, the outside lanes you really don't use anyways. So we're gonna use that for we're gonna increase the sidewalk size so people can walk, and we're gonna have bike lanes, and we're gonna put medians. We're gonna do resurfacing around the Archbishop Circle, just maybe 100 yards towards on San Vitores Road, and we're gonna go past the intersection on the other side of Marine Corps Drive to all the way up to just before the GPA substation.
Wait, I got to close my eyes and see where that from the ITC building intersection.
Yeah, so we're going to go all the way across the intersection. We're not just stopping at the intersection. We're going to cross because that's the entire Route 14.
Okay, so basically like from Carpet Masters through.
Yeah, up to Carpet Masters. Yeah,
up to Carpet. Oh, wow, that's significant. That is significant. All right, so from the back from behind ITC building, trying to factor this in my head, from that area there all the way up to the Archbishop Circle, there will be a wider sidewalks and then bike paths and lanes.
Correct.
Well,
And what you're going to have is we're going to put some medians along the way. We already like up to in and we're going to put some medians so that, you know, like when you come off Marine Corps Drive and you on Route 14, you can go to the community center, then you can go to Kings or something like that. We're going to block off the intersection or the entrance into Kings, and you can only go through the community center. That way, we're managing traffic. We're going to put some we call them pedestrian safety platforms, if you will, in the middle of the road. So when people cross the street, they're not going to there's a place where they don't have to cross all the way across the street. They just there's a safe haven, and then
I see what you mean. Right. Yeah, because there is that spot. You know, runners and pedestrians will know it. That is so wide there. You know, if you start walking late, sometimes you won't have enough time to make it all the way across the roadway. So your choice now is turn around or stand on the median and look like you're begging, which is something that we've also got to get through around there. Can we make them beggar-proof medians in that area?
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, they're designed for the pedestrians. We're designed for pedestrians. We looked at all of the traffic data, the crash data, and we made adjustments. So it's significant. I thought I gave that to you, Ray. I thought I gave you.
No, I had not seen. No, I don't think I'd seen it. But if you're more than welcome to send it to me, RayGibsonShow@gmail.com. I'd love to see some of that data, because it's a heavily used intersection, always has been. But it's that area from where the crosswalk is, as you point out, to about where Ruby Tuesdays is. Incidentally, great burgers and incredible happy hour prices. But let me back up here. But you're right. Oftentimes you get through there. I mean, we've got a restaurant, we got the Japanese place across the street, we got Ruby Tuesdays over here. So there's people trying to make it through that particular intersection. Then you've got the Shell gas station on one side, Kings on the other, and then you've got the intersection behind the Shell station and the entrance to the community center. So it gets to be pretty tricky driving around there with all the cars trying to get into or out of the one or two turning lanes that they've got there.
Right. So you know what, Ray? I'm going to do you one better. I'm going to, because I'll find out where they put it. Like I said, I've been gone for 3 weeks, so I'll find that the overlay.
Yeah.
Walk across the street and I'll give it to you.
Well, you know what? I got cameras here in the studio, so there's, you can give it to me, and then we might be able to put a camera on it so that people can see exactly what it is that we're talking about, and get a sense, if you will, of where some of these changes are going to go. Shelley wants me to ask about Pickanail Road. You guys going to be able to do anything with that?
Not at this point in time. Actually, Pickanail is not a routed road, so we're talking that's secondary street. I think the mayor wanted us to do, but if I don't, I forget.
Well, you know what I want you to do is make a hole from Pickanail out to Epow Road.
We're going to have to look at that.
I don't know. I don't know that if there's a clear spot there of government property that you might be able to do it with. But I think it'd be awesome if you could have something that goes from behind AK over to where ERC Trading was and the aircon store, and then punch right through a hole there, maybe to where Morico is, and then on to Epow Road.
Hey, you're talking about my old stomping grounds, man.
That's all of our old stomping grounds, bro. Then they used to have the Universal Theater back there. The old drive-in theater was back there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's that property still. There's ways to do it. But anyway, play around with that. Play around with that. I appreciate you spending some time with us, and welcome back from your vacation. Is there anything big going on? I know while you were gone, there were a couple of ribbon cuttings and road openings on some of the road work that your guys were responsible for up north.
Well, we're going to do. I got to look at what our next set of roads that we're gonna pave. I've got in this budget we've got $3 million. So, and in the budget, the way that what I saw in the budget was that we're going to have to come up with the roads we're going to pave with that $3 million, and we have to report to the legislature every month. So that would be round three. Round three, I'm looking at, as promised to Vice Speaker Talahi, I'm going to look at Swamp Road, and then I've got a few other roads that I've got to take care of. And we've done a village street for every village from January to June, and now we need to focus in on the streets that are really, really bad. And we have a way to evaluate them. We're actually trying to look at even improving that evaluation model, and then use that to move forward on what streets we're going to fix. Moving forward, knowing that it's $700 million, Ray, to fix all the roads, but at $3 million a year, at least we're heading in the right direction. We're still taking baby steps, but we're still moving.
You got the NDAA for 2019 got signed this morning by the president. Is there anything in there for you?
We've already we're asking for money to do bridges and to do. Not just the bridges, but also the outside lane. They have DOD's got a vehicle that's really, really heavy, and so we need to strengthen the outside lanes. And to do that, we're already studying that. We're going to come up with a design, and then we'll make the proposal, and they pay for that. We're talking roughly. My guess is about anywhere between $30 to $50 million for the strengthening of bridges, and another $30 million for the strengthening of the outside lanes.
You need help spending that money? You call me. I'm here. I'll be here for you. I'll be here for you, Glenn.
Okay. Thanks, Ray.
All right, buddy. 7:57, Glenn Leon Guerrero, and longest conversation with him because we haven't seen him in a couple of weeks is taking I'm going to say well-deserved vacation because of all the stuff that he has to be responsible for, and let him settle back into the job. And then I can go after the Department of Public Works on all of these. Did you see? Made it all the way through the conversation about work on Marine Corps Drive. Didn't bring up the god awful, butt ugly chain link fence once.
And I told him you probably
it was in my head. It was in my head because there's this massive Duffy. If you're tomorrow, you know it's Duffy. That's when you have a tooth missing. We call that a Duffy. There's a hole, there's a gap. And on the butt ugly, god-awful chain link fence on Marine Corps Drive, there is a big Duffy from the start of where it's supposed to have been to, I don't know, over by where the GPA substation is. But that is interesting news. I do need to point out that the work that we're talking about doing on the arch from Route 14, basically it's Chelan San Antonio, St. Anthony Road, right? And it will begin, like he says, around the Carpet Masters area and behind the ITC building. And it will go, because they were all built up together around the same time. And it will go all the way up to the Archbishop Circle. And he was talking about doing some, the lanes are very wide there. And the belief is that if they narrow the lanes a little bit, you can still get as many cars through there, but they'll go slower. They will just automatically slow down the traffic in the area. And with as many schools as there are there, Tamuning Elementary and St. Anthony School and Greyhound Park. Okay, it's not really a school, but you know what I mean. That whole area there, it could use for slower traffic. Bike paths, which would be kind of exciting. And for the tourists that like to walk up the hill from Tumon Bay and then down towards GPO, I think that'll be great. In fact, I'd take this a step further. Talk to the guys that are in charge of making the medians and the sidewalks and the shrubbery so nice down in Tumon and extend those all the way to GPO. You know, just one big, long shopping corridor. Hey, it's 8 o'clock in the morning or darn close to it, the radio station. We are KUSG, Hagutnya. This is 93.3 FM, The Point. My name is Ray Gibson. Kevin Kerrigan's got headlines right after Fox News. And coming up, Blake Watson and I are going to pretend to talk about sports, but we might actually have some sports stuff to talk about. Tiger Woods, number 2 in the PGA, right? And Zach Banner has signed with the Steelers. This is a big deal. Stay close to the radio. Stay close to the phone.
He's out. I'm Lisa Lacera, Fox News. The FBI agent under scrutiny over anti-Trump texts has been fired.
We got a statement earlier today from Peter Strzok's attorney. He said Strzok was fired on Friday afternoon by the deputy director of the FBI, and the attorney alleged that the deputy director overruled the recommendation of the FBI's internal ethics panel that had recommended a 60-day suspension and a further demotion of Agent Strzok. Part of that statement reads, The decision to fire Special Agent Strzok is not only a departure from typical Bureau practice, but also contradicts Director Wray, so that's FBI Director Christopher Wray's testimony to Congress and his assurances that the FBI intended to follow its regular process in this and all personnel matters.
Fox's Catherine Herridge in Alexandria, Virginia. Strzok had been removed from the Russia investigation after the anti-Trump texts were revealed last year. He also was part of the Hillary Clinton email investigation. The prosecution has rested in the fraud trial of former Trump campaign manager Paul Manafort. Two Trump administration officials tour one of the areas of Northern California ravaged by wildfires. Fox's Jessica Rosenthal has more live.
Lisa, Interior Secretary Ryan Zinke and Agriculture Secretary Sonny Perdue toured the car fire damage in and around the city of Redding. Zinke said these massive, hot-burning fires lately do not have to be the new normal if we remove dead trees from public lands and thin out the forests.
And it's prescribed burns late in the season. It's mechanical extraction. It's better forest management. We know how to do it. Our frontline supervisors and superintendents just need the tools and the authorities to do it.
Now, Purdue estimates they'll be spending $3 billion on fire suppression this year by borrowing from other parts of their budget. He says the next year a change in funding kicks in that will allow them to spend more on fire prevention, Lisa.
Thanks, Jessica. Fox News, fair and balanced.
Taste the sizzle at Chili's with our new fajita flavors. Our signature fajitas are served with sliced bell peppers, caramelized onions, topped with chipotle garlic butter, and chopped cilantro. Build your fajita with over 16 ounces of tender grilled chicken, juicy steak, and a dozen pieces of seasoned grilled shrimp in the family fajita trio. All served with warm flour tortillas and fresh toppings like mixed cheese, guacamole, salsa, and pico de gallo. Experience bold, sizzling fajita flavors only at Chili's. More life happens here.
Our workforce is changing, and our students need to be prepared for the challenges that are ahead. I graduated high school at GCC when we could learn a trade and even prepare for college. Our students deserve schools that are safe and books and resources that help prepare them for their future.
A Leon Guerrero Tenorio administration will rebuild Simon Sanchez, fix our schools, integrate technology in the classroom, and expand access to trades. I'm in to help get us there, and we humbly ask for your vote.
I'm Leon Guerrero, and I approve this message.
Paid for by the committee to elect Leon Guerrero Tenorio, Tony Sanford, Treasurer.
New charges filed against the man suspected of being the so-called Golden State Killer.
Based on the information that detectives were able to gather, we have identified Joseph James D'Angelo as the sole suspect in the Visalia Ransacker crime series and the murder of Claude Snelling.
Visalia Police Chief Jason Salazar. Snelling was shot trying to stop his daughter from being kidnapped. D'Angelo was arrested in April and charged with 12 murders in Sacramento. He's also believed to be responsible for dozens of rapes in the 1970s and 80s. State prosecutors in New Mexico say children who were found at a ramshackle compound near Taos were trained to use firearms and learned other tactical techniques. The prosecutors provided more details about the accusations during a court hearing today, where they asked that Shiraz Ibn Wahaj and 4 others be held pending trial on child abuse charges. Wahaj and the others were arrested and the 11 children taken into custody during a raid August 4th on the compound near the Colorado state line. An African-American man beaten by a now former Baltimore police officer suing the city.
Attorney Warren Brown says the beating of his client, Deshaun McGreer, was not just a crime,
but a tremendous setback in our effort to build a desired relationship between the community and law enforcement.
McGreer was hospitalized after the ex-cop was caught on video repeatedly hitting him. McGreer was not charged. Brown says he not only wants to see the city compensate his client, but he wants it done quickly to avoid an uprising.
The longer this is drawn out, the more you're flaming, you're fueling those flames.
Police say the former officer could face a second-degree assault charge. Gernal Scott, Fox News.
Jim the Anvil Neidhart, who joined brother-in-law Bret Hart to form one of the top tag teams in the 1980s with WWE, has died. He was 63. Lisa Lacera, Fox News Radio.
Many of you are like Governor Gutierrez and Fred Bordalio. They know Guam is a special place and are worried about the current state of our island home. They're tired of the political finger-pointing while our people continue to suffer and struggle in their daily lives. Please vote Gutierrez-Bordalio on August 25th, and together we will make Guam, Guam again. Thank you.
I'm Carl Gutierrez, and I approve this message.
Apply today for First Hawaiian Bank's United Mileage Plus credit card, and upon approval, you will be entered to win 2 round-trip business class tickets on United. You'll also earn up to 30,000 bonus miles, 5,000 upon opening your new account, and 25,000 after spending $1,500 within 3 months. And you'll get 2 times the mileage on United ticket purchases. Apply by August 31, 2018. Stop by any branch or visit us online at FHB.com. Terms and conditions apply. Sweepstakes starts on July 1, 2018 and ends on August 31, 2018. Open to legal residents of Guam and the Commonwealth of the Northern Mariana Islands aged 18 years or older. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited. Visit www.fhb.com/United Sweepstakes for official rules and complete details. Member FDIC.
Cheese curls and hot sauce, pantosta and coffee. Great alone, but better together. Here's another perfect pair for you. Docomo Pacific has created the Better Together bundle, combining 2 great services for one low price. Get unlimited local talk, text, and 20 gigs of data, plus unlimited home internet speed up to 20 megabits for $109 per month. You also get free installation and a Galaxy A8 Plus when you sign up today. Mobile plus online from Docomo Pacific. Better together. Some conditions apply. Call 688-KRC store for details.
If you can dream uncommon design and unprecedented engineering, you define the 2018 Lexus. The boldly designed IS Sport Sedan's aggressive design stimulates the senses.
Advanced paddle shifting puts the exhilarating performance of the IS Sport Sedan at your fingertips. With deep, luxurious seating, the ES350 offers an ultimate level of comfort, while cutting-edge engineering delivers a thrilling drive.
Put yourself in a 2018 Lexus.
Now with special incentives.
At Atkins Kroll.
7 after 8 o'clock in the morning, and normally we jump right into headline news and all of that from the Guam Daily Post and Kevin Kerrigan. But we're getting word that this is like extra traffic all morning long. I'm going to be doing this and letting you know where we've got some issues. Ken Williams called in, said southbound Marine Corps Drive over by Jack in the Box got a stalled vehicle there, and it is beginning to show the results. I've got traffic slowing from about where the intersection is at Two Lovers Point, the first one, and that's going to be slowing you down until you get to there. And then we've got the stalled vehicle. It'll open up a little bit more. And then just after the turn over at Route 14, that's Santos Hill that brings you to southbound Marine Corps Drive. That one there is beginning to slow down and will continue to do so probably until you pass the Pecos Cafe area, St. John's intersection. And then it's fairly smooth going down to Marine Corps Drive and places and other places in Upper Tumon. And just saying, traffic kind of ugly this morning on Marine Corps Drive. So build in some extra time. You got a phone? WhatsApp the boss. Let him know you're running late. See if you want anything. Look, I'm stuck over at Jack in the Box. You want breakfast? Why not? All right. That's traffic extra on the point. Here's headlines.
Half a day and good morning, Guam. News time here at The Point is 8 minutes past 8 a.m. this Tuesday morning. I'm Kevin Kerrigan. Here's a look now at some of the top stories from the Guam Daily Post. The 3-day search for missing 15-year-old hiker Xavier Akima came to a close yesterday afternoon when his body was found about 1.5 miles from the Pago Bay Bridge. Xavier's backpack and phone were found a few hours earlier about 100 yards from the bridge along the Lonfit River near the Leo Palace Resort. The recovery of the boy's remains brought a tragic end to the hopes and prayers of friends, family, and island community that had prayed for his safe return. And it followed a massive 3-day search that included Guam Fire, Guam Police, the Guam Guard, the Coast Guard, and the Navy's search helicopter crew. Xavier, who was a junior at Father Duenas Memorial High, had gone hiking with friends on Saturday when he was swept away while crossing the flooded Lonfit River. Governor Eddie Calvo issuing a statement last night extending condolences to the Akima family, saying they are in our thoughts and prayers. The 3 candidates for Guam's next Attorney General talked about some of the legal issues facing the island during a forum yesterday sponsored by the Guam Bar Association that took place at the Guam Museum. Attorneys Gary Gumatautau, Levin Camacho, and Doug Moylan shared their views on government corruption, deportation of convicted foreign nationals, and the gun-grabbing incident involving Lieutenant Governor Ray Tenorio. Attorney Levin Camacho said that Attorney General Elizabeth Barrett Anderson should have provided an update on that investigation to Senator Talina Nelson last week, but he also said he understood that maintaining silence was the ethically responsible answer to the senator's request. Former AG Doug Moylan disagreed, saying that no ethical rule prevents prosecutors from talking about a case. However, he said Tenorio is presumed innocent until proven guilty. And finally, Gumatauto said everybody knows his position on the issue, saying, grab a gun, go to jail, although he added that it would pain him to prosecute the lieutenant governor, but he would do his job, he said, if the incident were to be charged. We'll have more news after this.
Here at APL, our core values give the company its heart and soul. Whether it's connecting your business with our global network through our newly enhanced service or investing our efforts into giving back to the community, APL is committed to serving you. We humbly honor the opportunity to find innovative solutions for you and your business. To learn more about our enhanced service, call 588-4651 or visit www.apl.com/Guam for more details.
Security Title is honored to join in sponsoring Ray Gibson on The Point. Half a day. I'm Mark Benventi of Santa Rita, and this is where I start my day, listening to the voice of our community and sharing thoughts and issues that affect us all. It all boils down to our people, our land. Protei Igumamo. Protect your home. When purchasing or refinancing your home, remember to call the professionals at Security Title, just like you call Ray Gibson in the morning.
News time here at The Point is 12 minutes past 8 a.m. President Donald Trump has signed the 2019 National Defense Authorization Act into law. The NDAA authorizes $448.5 million for military construction projects right here on Guam in support of the ongoing buildup. Among the projects that have been funded are $75.6 million for X-ray wharf improvements and $141 million for the firing range up on Northwest Field. Half of that funding authorized to be spent in the 2019 fiscal year. The NDAA also provides flexibility for U.S. immigration to administer the H-2B visa program on island and extends the exemption from the temporary work requirement for H-2Bs until December 31st, 2023. The Justice Department has awarded $1.9 million to the Guam Attorney General's office to support assistance programs for the victims of crime. About $1.8 million of that is meant to provide crisis counseling, shelter assistance, and therapy. The remaining $33,000 will be used to provide financial assistance and reimbursement to the victims of crime. Congresswoman Madeline Bordallo making the announcement, saying the grant award will help bring comfort to victims and their families. For these stories and more, log on to postguam.com or pick up a copy of today's Guam Daily Post. Weather now with Ray.
Partly cloudy skies today with isolated showers and thunderstorms. Stepped outside a second ago, and I can see the sun really wanting to come out, but I just don't think we're going to be out from under the cloud cover for a little bit. East winds 10 to 15 miles an hour. It's going to go to 15 to 20 miles an hour tonight. Daytime highs could be 90. That's what it'll say on the thermometer, but the heat index will be saying, no, I want it to be up around 100, maybe 103 today is what it's going to feel like later in the afternoon. Overnight lows tonight, cooler, 78 degrees. Sunset at 6:43, sunrise at 6:08. And as we like to do from time to time, we'll take a look at the weather radar and let my meteorologist Michael Knight interpret what he is seeing in the leaves. What do you think is going to happen in the next hour or so?
Well, as we see there, the south just got hammered by a pretty good set of showers and thunderstorms rolling through there. Looks like we're going to get a little bit of a break, but this is just waves and waves of rain showers and occasional thunderstorms that are going to be blowing through most of the day and probably for the next 2 or 3 days. Not only that, but starting tonight, the winds are actually going to increase as this system works a little bit to the southwest of us. So it's just going to be feeling that way.
Mm-hmm. All right, and now we'll take a look at the satellite image. We're going to get a broader view of the Western Pacific region.
Lots of pretty colors.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to tell what's going on there, but this being from a few hours ago, where you could see the big blow up over Guam, and then it kind of passes away down to the southwest, and just a lot of troughiness and real monsoonal activity going on out there as things kind of try to shape up and become organized. And that's going to take a few days. But
one of these days, I'm going to get myself organized. Okay, gotcha. That, my friends, is what's going on in the world of news and traffic and weather together right here on The Point.
Don't wait another day and waste another dollar. You can start saving today. At Guahan Insurance Services, we are here to help protect your investment and save you money. We offer insurance advising for business, car, and home insurance. So come and visit us at our new office at Camacho Landmark Center at Marine Corps Drive in Tamuning, and let us show you that you can count on us for all your insurance needs. Call 475-1162.
Portions of the program are brought to you by King's Restaurant. Great lunchtime specials all the time. Let's see. Monday is Salisbury steak. Today is beefsteak tomorrow. Pork Senegal tomorrow. Meatloaf on Thursday and on Fridays. See, I like to recite the whole week. Because today is Tuesday, and then you go, wait a second, this Wednesday, Thursday, and then it'll be Friday. This is perfect. So it just helps me, mentally jog through the week and give us all something to look forward to. And the thing to really look forward to is Friday when they do the beef Tenac-Tac. Really good stuff for lunch at King's.
Are you paying too much for power? Do you want to reduce your energy costs and save some money? Then call Micronesia Renewable Energy and get a solar energy system installed on your roof. Whether it's ownership or a zero money down program, there's never been a better time to go solar. Sign up in August and MRE will pay 1 month of your power bill so you can save even more money. Not a homeowner? No problem. Refer homeowners to MRE and get paid $400 cash. It pays to be an MRE customer. Conditions apply. Call 632-2613 for details. MRE, the smarter choice.
Portions of the program brought to you by Security Title when you absolutely need confidentiality in your real estate transactions.
$7 meal from Circle K. Get your choice of 2 Nathan's all-beef hot dogs or a half-pound Nathan's all-beef footlong, a big wrap bag of chips, and any size Polar Pop. That's a giant deal of a meal, all for only $7. Circle K. Take it easy.
Portions of the program also brought to you by APL, where they're shipping the future.
Howdy, folks! Just when you thought our famous KFC Crispy Strips couldn't get any better, introducing the new KFC Fold-Its. KFC Crispy Strips on a soft flatbread sandwich with lettuce and tomatoes. And all for $5 with fries. $5? Woo! Yes, $5 Fold-Its, and it comes with your favorite KFC fries. KFC Fold-Its for limited time only. KFC, it's finger-licking good.
The Ray Gibson Show. Any speaker, anytime. Call now. 888-TALK. That's 888-8255.
What happened out there? Got a picture sent to the Point WhatsApp 988-5874, and looks like the picture that I'm looking at right now is of it looks like one school bus next to another school bus, but the one school bus is on the back of a tow truck.
It's not just any tow truck.
I'm sorry, what's that?
That's not just any tow truck.
No,
that's an official Gov Guam tow truck. I can tell by its green. That's the one that hauls off buses.
Yellow plates.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen that one in action.
How many buses did Glenn say?
You're seeing it again?
I know. And every time I see it in action, it's always hauling away a bus on the back of it.
How many buses did Glenn Leon Guerrero said he had today?
I don't know.
Okay, Glenn, not counting
He's
this one.
One less. He's one down. Whatever he had.
Yep. Okay. Sorry about that, guys. Well, best laid plans. But, I'm not getting any complaint calls yet or anything on the WhatsApp of people complaining that their kids have been stranded at the intersection someplace and still waiting for a bus.
Maybe he was on his way to the bus barn. Maybe he had already done his route and he was on his way back.
And just needed a hand from another one of the friendly vehicles.
I like to think they were both on their way back. They saw each other on the road and they pulled up next to each other just to start talking. And maybe they traded some paint like the NASCAR guys.
Right,
yeah.
Let's go get a coffee. I don't want to drive. You drive. Okay, I'll drive. You hook me up in the back, and that's that. Yeah, that's what happened. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, that's what happened.
That's what happened. Hey, you know what? It's 8:19 and time for Sports with Blake. Go. Where do you want to start?
Let's see.
Are you waiting for the music to end?
No.
Oh, never wait till the music. I
was waiting on my fearless leader's lead. That's
establish and then up and up. Yeah, but you can start early. I mean, you can start first.
Okay.
If you've got a clever thing in your mind, you can always start with that.
I didn't have anything clever. I just had information today.
Oh.
Yeah.
Hey, your computer's back.
I borrowed our HR director's charger because she has the same one as me. And so I charged it yesterday, which means this should last me all week, hopefully. That's what happened last time. I'm waiting on my charger to arrive in the mail.
It's supposed to come in with the Attorney General's opinions on the Ray Tenorio and the Eric Palacios thing, right?
I think so.
Then you'll get it.
The reason is because people even ask, they're like, well, why did you get another charger? I've ordered one, and the reason I'm sticking with my guns on the one I ordered is because my buddy who ordered it for me and deals in MacBooks, he's not charging me for it. So I could either go pay like the $60, $70 for one at a store and be convenient, or I thank you.
You okay there? No, what is going on with you? Are you pressing all of the buttons in there to see what noise they make?
I am. I haven't heard so many of them in so long.
He's the audio version of the bus this morning. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm operating like Gov Guam. There's no sense to it whatsoever.
Just kind of completely just random mornings. I like that. Okay. So anyway, 8:21. Let's restart here. So you don't have anything, no clever way to bring us into our sports this morning. So we'll just talk with. I guess we've got a friend on the Steelers.
Oh, yeah, we do. Zach Banner, who got all the Guam ties, and he's made himself very, very well known since his time at USC. They're on the offensive line. And has played with a few different teams. I believe he started off with the Colts. That's who he was drafted by. Spent some time with the Browns after being cut from the Colts last season. And now he is in the halls of greatness. And that pains me to say because I'm a Cowboys fan, and the only team with more Super Bowls than the Cowboys and the Patriots are the Steelers. They have 6. And now Zach Banner has joined that legacy as he has signed on to play for the Pittsburgh Steelers from USC.
I mean, it's like a real position, right?
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what he's going to go out for. I don't know if he's going to be, left end or, left tackle or whatever. I don't know.
It's not like it's a Rudy where he has to, pick up guys' jockstraps and underwear and, do all of that grunt work in the back. I mean, he's like a real team player, right?
Right. And he may have to start off, work his way up because he is a second-year player. He may have to start off on the practice squad, just to kind of prove himself. But, yeah, he won't have to go through the hazing of picking up the dinner tab or carrying the veterans' pads, back to the locker room or anything like that. He announced via his Instagram that he signed with the Steelers. He originally plays offensive tackle, but like I said, not sure what he's going to play with the Steelers or what they have already there in the locker room. But he spent 2017 with the Colts and the Browns. He was the 4th-round pick for the Indianapolis Colts. He's 6'8", 360. And according to the Steelers Wire USAtoday.com website, plenty of NFL potential, and they are excited to have him. They made room on the roster. They had to waive a player to sign Zach Banner. So, sorry, Kyle Meadows.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they had to waive offensive tackle Kyle Meadows.
It's like getting kicked out of first class. That's great.
And I guess it was perfect timing for the Steelers because they have had multiple injuries along the offensive line in training camp, which is just wrapped up, and now we're in preseason. So they're probably just kind of trying to scramble to fill some positions and some holes left by injury or cuts, that they made. Maybe a guy didn't pan out over the summer that they thought would have. So shout out to Zach Banner. That's a big deal. And I know we got a lot of Guam faithful who like the Steelers anyway. So you got a guy from Guam with Guam ties on a favorite team here on Guam. So it'll be pretty interesting. Here locally, the Little Steelers, that would be the GNYFF Steelers, they played on as they get a big win over the Southern Cowboys Sunday
I was looking
afternoon.
up something that was very important having to do with Zach Banner.
Oh, go ahead.
Because one of these days we're going to go watch him play.
Yeah.
At Heinz Field.
At Heinz Field.
Which is where they are.
And I want to go in November. I want to go in Pittsburgh when it's cold. That's the only way to do it, Ray. You got to go. If you're going to go to Heinz Field, it's an outdoor stadium. You got to go in the dead of the season in Pittsburgh.
Get out. No, I've done that. Me and my old man, we went to the Panther Stadium, which is an open air stadium, and it was cold.
About what month? October, November? Somewhere around there?
It was June, July. It was cold. I hated it.
So
I don't know, sometime in the football season.
Right, so Pittsburgh,
no, it was in October. I remember because they were wearing pink cleats.
Yeah, and they do that for the Breast Cancer Awareness month-long celebration. By the way, I don't know if most people know that.
So 12-ounce beers at Heinz Stadium, $8.
That's it?
$8. I don't know how old this is, but I mean, it's what they were trying to do. What they were trying to figure out was if they're $8 for 12 ounces, and you can get 1,984 ounces in a keg of Yuengling or Mellinger's beer or something like that, that would mean that a keg would be worth almost $3,000
at that price.
Yeah, $8 per.
And I say,
We're in the
that
wrong business.
Well, yeah, and I say that that's it because Jerry dictates the prices for my team, the Dallas Cowboys. So you're paying about $14 for a 16-ounce beer. And if you want a margarita, just like let's say a 20-ounce margarita, you're gonna pay about $21.
Margarita at a football stadium?
Yeah, people drink them. I mean, a lot of ladies drink them, I guess, because it's either beer, straight liquor, or margarita. So it's kind of a, it's the only sweet option, unless you like the Mangoritas, like the really sweet little canned drinks.
That's okay. I'm just wondering, if we ever, if by some miracle we were invited by, say the United guys came out and said, we'd like to send you to go watch Zach Banner opening day or something like that. I just want to know how much money to bring for beer.
Yeah, well.
So I'm just going to get the one.
8 per. 8 per. Just bring it for 8 per.
I got you.
What I was saying a second ago was that the GNYFF played on as I got the all the things here.
Sorry, I'm on Facebook Live and Booney Dog is doing some crazy stuff. He's suggesting that Lieutenant Governor Tenorio should do a Game of Thrones thing and demand a trial by combat.
But I wonder who the proxy would be, because if they pick Rocky Martinez, he may be in some trouble.
I think it'd be more fun to send him walking down the streets of Marine Corps Drive naked while we all yell, "Shame!"
The other Game of Thrones thing.
He gets Queen Cersei.
That's right.
Something wrong with you guys. Okay, where were we? 8:26 still. And Tiger Woods.
Oh yeah, Tiger Woods lost. He came in, I believe, third.
Second.
Did he finish second? Okay.
I checked this morning. What's his name was 14 under, and he was 13 under.
Koepka, and then Brooks Koepka, I think. Yeah, just barely missed it. And people on social media were actually having a field day, because if you watch the video, and I tweeted it out if you want to see it, Blake on Air, if you want to check me out. Shout out to Carl Pangolinan, who follows me.
Right.
I tweeted out the kind of ceremonious as they were walking into the clubhouse, the congratulations between Tiger and Brooks. And Brooks's wife/girlfriend was kind of lingering there in the background, and Tiger gives her a hug. And I'm just saying, if that was my girlfriend, you're not hugging Tiger. All right? That's Big Cat. Mr. Steal Your Girl. Watch out for him. It's not like he doesn't have a history.
Where did he put his hand?
But I will say this. The hug lasted about the length of a middle school dance. Just going to say that. No! Yeah, it was not a quick hello hug. Yeah, I tweeted out. The video is actually on PGA's Twitter if you want to check it out. I just retweeted it. But yeah, it's that's what I pulled away from the whole PGA Championship.
Is that kind of uncomfortable, hey, that's not your wife.
Yeah, and I think Tiger's single. So, I don't mean to be punny, but maybe he's on the prowl. I don't know. No, you don't have the
long hug.
No rim shot. Ah, gosh. Even on my birthday eve, I don't get a rim shot.
Yeah. Oh, it's tomorrow your birthday?
It is.
Great.
And this is the only time you'll hear me say anything about it.
What do you want? Wait, is it gonna?
He's gonna be like 16.
Kevin, what are you getting Blake for his birthday?
A hearty handshake.
There we go. A hug. I'm gonna give you a hug.
Yeah.
When it's your birthday, we'll do it on Facebook, and then everybody will message you. Cheryl Mace's got a birthday today. You remember Neil Ruggiero?
Yes.
From the Marine Corps, got a birthday today, and Dean Mesa, Althea Knutson-Metter, and Sheila Baker is celebrating a birthday.
Hey,
Sheila celebrating.
Her daughter Ayanna Baker's birthday was yesterday.
Do we have any of the Bakers in the pageant tomorrow night?
I don't think so. I think they've all gotten age-wise. They've all done it, or we're waiting on a new crop to get of age.
Okay, so I think we're supposed to be Team Celine.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
That's who we're pulling for. Huh?
Well, that's Janae and other Kevins.
Okay, all right. Does she have a number? Does she have a contestant number? Because that is a sport.
Million Pitbull.
I think she's 9.
9. Okay.
I think.
We'll go with number 9.
I think.
Celine. What's it? Celine?
Yeah, I think it's Team Celine.
Celine.
I'm probably dead wrong on this. She's probably just yelling at the radio saying, "Shut up! You don't know what you're talking about."
No idea.
Never mention my name again. Yes, it's Celine.
Okay. Shout out to Celine and the pageant, the Miss Guam Universe.
Yeah. Okay.
It's always a good time. I've hosted a few of those.
Have you? Who's hosting tomorrow? Do we know?
Maybe Kyle.
Okay, because they're asking. She said, "Do you want to go?" And I'm going. been anywhere near a pageant since like 1993. I've got this, there's a thing that falls before my eyes, and it's just significant beer, and then it's a school night. I don't know.
They don't serve alcohol at those things.
She said maybe.
do they?
What? I don't.
Maybe they do. I don't know. They didn't when I was there.
Shelley will know the answer.
And also, if you are going to go, I just want to let you know it's very interactive. If you're going to go as a supporter, you got to bring signs, you got to bring noisemakers, you got to get into the spirit because a lot of the crowd.
Like University of Guam graduation.
No, I know, and it shouldn't. But I will say, in my not to be controversial, but in my history of hosting, I will. It's always coincidental that the person with and I don't think it should be this way, but the person with the highest fanfare always seems to win.
You think?
And I know it is. And I don't think that that's how that is supposed to be judged. It's not like Star Search where you're like, all right, or, Showtime at the Apollo. Or, it's supposed to be based on like criteria and categories. But it always seems, coincidentally enough, that every time the person with the loudest fanfare gets usually wins. So
okay,
interesting.
I got a note here, and don't forget to do a shout out to Athena McNinch, Ron's daughter.
Oh,
and,
shout out to
Athena, all of the other pretty girls that
Dr.
they've got in
McNinch
there.
and his daughter.
So anyway,
I know them both.
So as far as I'm with you on this. I will admit there are certain pageants that we have here on Guam that are almost sportsy in and of themselves. So we'll keep an eye on that. I forget what it is that they're supposed to be up to today, but tomorrow is supposed to be the actual pageant, and then we'll talk about it on Thursday morning.
Best part too, if you're gonna go, look for the native costume. That is the best part of the pageant. They come out with this big outlandish, because they get to do it at home, and they just build. It's almost like the Liberation Day floats.
I just try to
costume
survive.
form.
I just try to survive the opening number before I start rolling my eyes excessively and saying it's time to go.
You know what? Even when you host it, you still got to know the choreography for all of that.
Yeah,
so I don't miss that.
Yeah, I know.
And all in a tuxedo.
I just gotten into so much trouble with pageants in my life. It's
I don't
8:30.
do pageants. They're too objectifying.
Of the host. I remember once there was a glitch in a pageant that I was in. I was the MC. Madeline Berdalio was the co-MC. It was the both of us working together, and there was a glitch in the program. Somebody was supposed to come up and I don't know, help us draw questions or something like that for the contestants. I think it was supposed to be Governor Joe Atta's wife Rosie, right? And so she wasn't in the chair at the time. So I called Joe up, and this former Governor Joe Atta, right? This the guy with the biggest handshake in the whole wide world, but he wasn't dressed to get on stage. And Madeline, oh boy, she chewed me out. She's like, that was the most embarrassing thing of my life. I'm going, what? Bringing Joe Atta up in short sleeve shirt? Is that, get out of here, really? And I never did another one. I never wanted to risk getting the congresswoman.
So that would have just ruined it for me. I mean, like, no need to get mad.
He wasn't wearing a tie or something?
Yeah, but he wasn't, because he wasn't in a suit. And the idea was everybody that was supposed to get up on stage got the suit. Anyway, so I
disgraceful.
I hosted. I know.
Jeez,
the nerve and the audacity.
I should have left Guam. I should have split.
I'll tell you that, man.
I can't believe you showed your face around here anymore.
Anyway, yeah, and she still comes in for interviews. It's amazing. It's 8:33 in the morning. Hey, you got work to do, birthday boy. So I'll see you, and people will be able to hear you on Star 101 all morning long. And a lot of traffic to report today. I'm looking at something over by Amonte Street and Salisbury Street in Dayton, over by the Weddingale rugby field. We got traffic moving in both directions that is slowing down through there, and right in front around DPW Kmart area, traffic beginning to slow. It's always ugly this time coming up Route 20. That's Santos Hill. That's Route 14 as it links up with Marine Corps Drive. Route 10 in Barragata heading towards 8, 10, and 16. Ugly. 8, 10, and 16. Just the 16 to 8 part is ugly.
Just that part.
Yeah, just that one. The Happy Mart. Why is there still traffic at Happy Mart at 8:30? I don't know, but that's what it is.
Not a lot of room in that.
It's the longest 100 yards on Guam.
Exactly. Oh, you don't know. When you got to pee and you got to stop at the two intersections and they're right next to each other, and
the
you go,
Miracle Mile. The Miracle Mile.
You could just get out of your car, run to the restroom, and get back in. It'll still be sitting there.
I could. I think I could get away with it. They'd say, oh, it's just Ray. Let him go.
By the way, for our listeners, please don't try that.
Don't try that at home. Try it at your friend's house. It's 8:34, and that's enough out of Blake. Right now, we're going to take a quick break and then get the headlines. Brought to you by Furniture Kathy Style and Kevin Kerrigan next.
Get a 20-ounce stainless steel Circle K Coffee Club tumbler. Just stop into any Circle K, sign up for our Power Pass rewards program, and after your purchase of 15 cups of premium coffee, any size, you get your tumbler for free. While supplies last, conditions apply. See store for details. Get a 20-ounce stainless steel Circle K Coffee Club tumbler. Just swipe your Power Pass key fob when you purchase Circle K Premium Coffee, any size. And after 15 cups, you'll get your tumbler for free. While supplies last, conditions apply. See store for details.
Should have spent some time talking about the Parker Solar Probe. I just like the name, the Parker Solar Probe. Maybe we will between here and 10 o'clock in the morning. You never know what's going to happen. It's 8:35 and time for headlines brought to you by Furniture Kathy Style. Here's Kevin Kerrigan.
Half a day and good morning, Guam. And the headlines from the Guam Daily Post this morning. President Trump signing the 2019 National Defense Authorization Act into law. The NDAA authorizes $448.5 million for military construction projects here on island. Among the projects that have been funded are $75.6 million for the X-ray Wharf Improvement Project and $141 million for the firing range up on Northwest Field. Half of that funding authorized to be spent in the 2019 fiscal year. The law also provides flexibility for U.S. immigration to administer the H-2B visa program on island, and it extends the exemption from the temporary work requirement for H-2Bs until December 31st, 2023. Jesse Leon Guerrero behind bars again after testing positive for methamphetamine use and repeatedly failing to report for subsequent drug testing. Leon Guerrero was indicted on federal charges of conspiracy to possess and distribute meth. He was released into the custody of his 72-year-old father back in April, but according to court documents, he tested positive for meth use on June 14th. He denied using the drugs, but tested positive again on June 20th, after which he failed to report for subsequent drug testing, at one point telling a probation officer that he had forgotten. His supervised release was revoked, and he was sent back to jail. More than a month after Tropical Storm Maria swept over the island, the Guam National Wildlife Refuge at Ritidian continues to clean up the extensive damage caused by that storm. The refuge issued a statement saying that the Nature Trail and the Lati Loop Trail remain closed as they continue to clear down trees and hanging limbs. Closed areas have been marked off by tape and signs. A statement from the refuge also warning that high surf and dangerous rip currents continue this week and continue to pose a hazard for visitors. For these stories and more, log on to postguam.com or pick up a copy of today's Guam Daily Post.
8:37 is iConnect time. We'll talk about that in a second, but the preceding newscast brought to you by Furniture Kathy Style.
You've been waiting, and now it's here. Furniture Kathy Style's grand opening after 12 months of putting together an exciting, delicious, salivating, full-scale, real furniture store that has absolutely everything you need for a beautiful home. Beautiful textures, up-to-date styles, and prices that will blow your mind during our grand opening. Starting now, Furniture Kathy Style throughout the store. Bargains, bargains, bargains. Check us out on Facebook and Instagram.
Furniture Kathy Style in Hagåtña. Open every day from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m.
Remember when I told you that iConnect time was 8:37? It's changed now. It's 8:38, and on our way to 9 o'clock in the morning. They are the practical choice, just an FYI. You shouldn't spend more and get less. That's the idea here, is that you spend what you need for internet and mobile services and even push-to-talk. They are the practical choice at iConnect.
I've worked with everyone running for governor. I know what they've done and what they haven't. There have been so many missed opportunities to prevent the crises facing Guam. I know Lou would never have allowed GMH to go without resources. She would have closed the revenue loopholes so that the $8.1 billion military buildup generated additional revenue for Guam. She'll make sure our government lives within its means. I'm Carlotta Leon Guerrero, a Republican, and I'm voting for Lou and Josh.
I'm Lou Leon Guerrero, and I approve this message.
Paid for by the committee to elect Leon Guerrero Tenorio, Tony Sanford, Treasurer.
So, have you had it yet? No. I'm sorry. I've had it.
You kind of framed that one.
Almost want to start all over again. I'm not sure. The Wendy's people aren't going to pay for this. They're going to go, wait, what do you mean, have you had it? What, have you had it at Wendy's? No, it's a drive-through thing. For me, the adventure is the drive-through. I make a big deal about this because I like berries. You know, I got a long conversation with a friend of mine yesterday, and she was complaining about the high cost of cherries and berries and things like that on Guam. And I said, you need to go to Wendy's. And she says, why? Do you get free food at Wendy's? Can you imagine the life? Huh? Anyway, so they've got, because the same price as all the other salads, the easiest way to get your dose of antioxidant-rich berries is with the Berry Burst Chicken Salad, hand-chopped lettuce sprinkled with fresh strawberries, juicy blueberries. And how good are they? I dropped a blueberry on the floor at my house yesterday, and I picked it up and stuck it in my mouth. Didn't wash it. I just, and I... dirty floor guy. I'm just saying. Crumbly feta cheese, sea salted toasted almonds, and freshly grilled chicken. I don't like grilled chicken. I like spicy chicken. And when I asked yesterday for them to make it spicy, they said, no problem, Gib. We got it for you. And sure enough, spicy chicken went along with everything else. Summer berries are in season at Wendy's. Now that's better.
Offering state-of-the-art MRI, full-field digital mammograms, full digital x-rays, and 4D ultrasounds. FHP Health Center provides comprehensive diagnostic medical imaging with the convenience and access our patients deserve. Our highly specialized board-certified radiologist ensures high-quality, patient-focused care with every visit. Call the FHP Health Center at 646-5825 and press 2 to schedule your appointment today. Most insurance is accepted, including Netcare, Aetna, and TRICARE.
Win a 2019 Lexus ES 350. Let me say it again, a 2019 Lexus ES 350 and support the Red Cross. Tickets are on sale at Atkins Kroll. The drawing is September 22nd and need not be present to win.
On-site diesel delivery by Morico Equipment. Morico Equipment offers an on-site diesel delivery service right to your door. Diesel is delivered at pump prices. Don't wait for a typhoon to hit. Call Morico at 649-1966 right now. Kohler Power Systems are quiet, reliable, and dependable. With regular service and support from our team, they stay that way. Kohler generator systems are sold and serviced on Guam by Morico Equipment. Yes. Call now, 649-1946, or click moricoequipment.com.
That's what we want, that throaty kind of yes. When we start talking about you bringing the diesel over to me, I don't have to go and schlep it in my 5-gallon containers. Thank you. Subway signature wraps deliver crave-worthy sandwiches that are filling and delicious. Our wraps are loaded with meat and packed with flavor. Get yours today at Subway. Make it what you want.
Family Finance has been serving the people of Guam since 1959, and they'll continue to be there for you in the years to come. Whether you're looking to get a personal loan for that summer vacation or paying off those long overdue bills, Family Finance has got you covered. Apply for a personal loan from $1,000 up to $3,500 by calling Family Finance in Hagåtña at 475-4545, Upper Tuon 647-5626, or in Dededo 633-4473. Family Finance has been serving the people of Guam since 1959.
Portions of the program brought to you by MRE, Micronesia Renewable Energy.
Say hello to high-speed data on the widest 4G LTE network in the Marianas. We've just upped your prepaid data, so make your big plans bigger with 1 gigabyte of data per day. Bigger prepaid data for your big plans that just keep getting better. Enjoy high-speed data and unlimited local talk and text on the widest 4G LTE network in the Marianas. Text LTE to 3282, select a plan, and enjoy 1 gigabyte of data per day. Docomo Pacific, better together. Some conditions apply.
I want to say the last look at traffic, because normally we do the last look at traffic about now, but as I said, it's been an ugly morning for traffic. We got blue skies outside, but there was still some wet roads. Traffic around the JFK Kmart area, southbound Marine Corps Drive, a little bit heavy. Southbound Route 8 heading into Mighty area, and Hagåtña is a little bit heavier, but it's not slowing down anything. I was looking at a spot around Hagåtña over by the Wendy's area of Hagåtña Shopping Center, that parking area. You might see some traffic slowing down there as you get up towards the intersection at the Hagåtña Shopping Center. But otherwise, traffic seems to be moving through. Don't see anything in front of Navy Hospital. There's a little bit of a line of traffic getting out of Agate, making your way up the hill towards the intersection that will eventually get you onto Marine Corps Drive. And there was a little bit of a slowdown, in front of Anderson Air Force Base, but it looks like all of that is cleared up. Generally, if you're near a school, you're going to see some problems getting out of of the roadway. That's all there is to it. Northbound traffic, upbound traffic, let me say it that way, from about where the PIC is up to the Kmart JFK intersection is filling up a little bit right now, but it doesn't look like it's going to be something that's going to be lingering for a long time. 8:44, and that's what's going on. News and traffic and all of that together here on The Point.
Nothing's more expensive than ignorance. Do you know what blockchain technology is or how it affects your financial life? You should. If it's a question in your mind, then you need to attend our free event at the Onward Beach Resort on Saturday, August 18th. If you own a business, you have to know how blockchain will change your business. Call now, 671-678-5989, or go to guam.digitalgoldacademy.com. Seating is limited. Call now, 671-678-5989.
You know, every once in a while I threaten to do the show standing up, and because the furniture that we have here at the radio station is, at least in this studio, is designed as what we call a stand-up console. So technically, I should be able to stand up and be able to execute the program like this. But since I got to do it for 4 hours, get out of here with that noise. I got chairs, babe. I got chairs. Where are we? 8:45 a.m., and this is 93.3 The Point FM. My name is Ray Gibson. If you just tuned in, what? Where have you been all morning? You know, we crunched a lot of really important stuff. There's going to be road work on Challenge San Antonio that's going to last a year and a half. And if you weren't listening at 7:45, you missed Glenn Leon Guerrero tell you that story. And is it possible that there are some people with a certain amount of notoriety in this town that might be able to get themselves written in? If you're not satisfied with the names that you are seeing in a variety of offices, well, think about a couple of names that you like, and you and 100 friends get together and write them all in. And who knows? Maybe we'll get enough that it will make a difference in the election, which is coming up. I wanted to spend a couple of minutes. There's some very interesting measures that are up for public hearings today at the Committee on Health, Tourism, Military Affairs that is chaired by Senator Dennis Rodriguez. And I wanted to get Senator Dennis Rodriguez on the line for a couple of reasons. Number one, a couple of the measures that they're going to be looking at are bills that he has authored, 326 and 327, having to do with labs for medicinal marijuana and all of that stuff. But the other reason is because I think Dennis Rodriguez got ripped off this weekend. You and Frank and Mike got ripped off. Good morning, Senator.
Good morning. How's today, sir?
Man, so the FCG thing you couldn't go to because they had the thing. You know, you had to be in session, right?
That's right. That's right. Unfortunate, but it's okay. This is our first duty is to pass a budget.
I don't disagree, but you know, there's a conspiracy theorist in all of us. And I was like, and because not only did it happen once, it happened again the next day. I was hoping to spend some time with you and Dave at the Meet the Candidates forum that we had one-on-one at the Micronesia Mall.
That's right. We missed that too.
And you missed that one. So I thought, you know what, I gotta see if I can reach out to these guys, you know, Dennis and to a degree Frank and Miguel, and see if I can, you know, give you just a little bit of additional airtime. Other than that, how was your campaigning weekend?
Very good. We had to do a lot of catch up, but it's very good. We have less than 2 weeks to go, and we're feeling very good. And we're going to do well. Guam's going to do well.
How'd you do down south? I understand that you guys were doing some canvassing in Molesu.
Yes. We were there the past couple of days. We're doing good. Very good responses, and you know what it is. We're just offering the people of Guam what our vision is and how we're going to address the many challenges that everybody talks about. I believe we're the only ones that offer a real plan, and so we're hoping that will resonate on election day.
Well, I hope everybody got a copy of it. It's interesting reading, no matter what, and I think there's some things in there. Even if you don't make the primary or don't get to be the governor of Guam, I think there's still some interesting ideas that are worth pursuing on that. At any rate, as I said, public hearings today, and the fun is going to start. These are tonight, aren't they? No, wait. You got public hearings and confirmation hearings. So what's the schedule going to be?
At 5 p.m. tonight, we made it at 5 thinking that we'll still be in session and, give the public more time to come out. But we'll try to get through it as fast as we could. If we need to extend it a second day, we'll do that. But, yes, we have a bunch of confirmation hearings to the Board of Medical Examiners and I think also to the Allied Health Board. And we have a couple of bills from Senator Louise, that deals with the home cultivation of medical cannabis, and I have two others that deal with the same issue. Senator Espaldon, I believe, has some few bills, as well as Senator Esteves.
Yeah, well, Senator Esteves has got a very, very interesting one, and it will be interesting to see who comes out and in support of it. And his measure is Bill 291, and I remember when this came up, there was a little bit of conversation about it, and then it kind of dropped off, Mike. And so I'm interested to see where this is going to go. It's relative to allowing individuals to change the legal sex designation on their birth certificates. So if you got a guy that was born with the male parts and might have changed later on and decided he identifies as a woman, he would be able to go to the records and change his legal sex designation on the birth certificates, and vice versa. Women would be able to do the same thing. These are interesting times, so it'll be interesting to see some of the people that come out to support it. It'll be interesting to hear the arguments that are made against it in the halls of the legislature. But Senator Luis Muñoz has introduced Bill 302, permitting home cultivation of medical cannabis under certain conditions. And so I think that kind of leads to, well, if we're going to be going in that direction, changing some of the standards, then what needs to be done with regard to laws that are already on the books that talk about ownership of cannabis testing laboratories and the requirements for the testing laboratories, which is where you come in.
Yeah, well, that's what we have as a mandate right now, is to stand the medical cannabis program up. The home cultivation, that was also brought up in the past legislatures. It didn't, we didn't pass it. It didn't go through. And so, right now we got to put everything on the table. Our people waited too long for a mandate that they directly told us to stand up. And so the bills that I've introduced, I believe would make it a little bit more easier to get things moving, because at least for one of the bills that I introduced, which gives the governor, whoever it is, the authority to waive certain requirements. And there's nothing new. I know that Senator Klipsky talked about and says it's kind of interesting. I don't think it's ever been done. We actually have current law and regulations now that allow the chief executive, to waive certain requirements. This is part of the food code that was passed a few years ago. Oh. And so, there's precedent in being able to do something like that. We put a provision where if the governor does intend to waive a certain portion, that he's got to have a real good reason to do it. He's got to inform the legislature, and the legislature's got to, in turn, disapprove it if they see it's not the right thing to do. And it's also similar, interestingly, the budget that was passed, there's a provision in there for GMH, which the speaker put in, that funds that were that are appropriated to GMH for the Medicaid portion could be used for any other operational costs if the governor signs an executive order doing so. So there's some precedent. There's things that people have looked at. We've worked with legal counsel in of course drafting the bill. So we'll see what happens with the public hearing today, and eventually taking it to the floor. Yeah,
because if you ask me, and you and I have had numerous conversations about medicinal marijuana, and I can't disagree with the mandate of the people. It went to an election, and the people spoke and said, this is what we want. And then it seemed that we put together policies and practices that acted as nothing but roadblocks to being able to achieve any of this. And so, it's one of those things that I've resisted talking about too much on the radio, because I think it's kind of futile at this point, especially when you start looking at the first thing that you'd have to do is set up this lab so that you've got ways to be able to test for potency and purity of the product when it goes out to somebody. And it's going to end up being a $12 million lab that nobody's going to be building around here, which means that we're always going to get stuck in limbo. And so, in my mind, I think maybe there ought to be another mandate that we put before the people, and that is to say, as of a couple of years ago, we gave you the opportunity. You said you wanted medicinal marijuana. At the time, the tolerance for personal use was fairly low. Has that changed over the years? Is there a desire, especially after seeing what's happening across the country with other municipalities and states that are kind of looking the other way on the old marijuana laws? Is it time time for us to be able to say, yeah, maybe we're not so much against the personal use of marijuana. Let people grow it if they want to, and no need to take it and have it tested. What do you think of that idea?
I'm open to it. You know my position.
Dude, then put it on the ballot. You should put it on the ballot.
I'm open to it. I wouldn't personally push it myself, but of course I'm open to it. If the people vote for it, then that's the thing we have to live with. I still believe, Ray, that the medical portion could happen. I mean, it's we can talk about blaming how things could have been done differently. I know one thing's for sure is that in January we'll have a new governor. If I'm that governor, I'm blessed enough, I'll do things differently, and we'll get this program moving. I've made suggestions to the administration over the years in how they can move forward with this lab component. There has been interest by private laboratories. Unilab, you remember Unilab? I brought them to Guam. I had them in your show. They're a big pharmaceutical in the Philippines and Asia, and they were willing to come and do some sort of public-private with the government of Guam, but unfortunately, it didn't push through. And so there's opportunities, and if I'm governor of Guam, we'll make sure we take it to that next level and pursue this.
Well, there's a very good chance that Saipan is going to beat us to it.
Mm-hmm.
This whole recreational personal use marijuana, and that will also move into, if you can grow it, then fine, or we can buy it from somebody down the street or get it from somebody down the street. It should resolve some of the same issues that we're trying to resolve or think we're resolving with the medicinal marijuana.
Mm-hmm. That's correct.
Yeah, so I mean, just total, laissez-faire. Let the tourists have it. Let grandma have it when she's feeling weak from whatever it is that she's going through. And if you want to take the edge off a weekend or Saturday, Sunday night, you're trying to take the edge off of the weekend because you don't want to go back to work Monday. Maybe some people have a glass of wine, some people have a bottle of beer, and there might be some people who just want to light up and get it done that way.
That's right. That's right.
Where is the harm? All right. So everything about 5 o'clock this afternoon over at the legislature.
That's correct. Yes.
Okay. And I forgot. I knew it yesterday, but I forgot because it was 24 hours ago. How did you vote on the budget bill? Was that yes or no from you?
No, I voted no. I tried several times to amend it, to roll back the GRT, to roll back the increase on tobacco tax. I voted against the increase in the real property. And so just based on those, a lot of other things I have concerns with, but just based on those, it was a bad budget for me already. And so, we can't, we've all heard it. We can't allow our government to keep on taxing our people and not taking on the hard task of, making sure the government is smaller and works more efficiently. And it was very hard.
Well, you know what got me? I was reading up on one of the stories this morning, and somebody is touting the fact that there are cuts, but there are cuts in public safety at the fire department and the police department. And I'm going, what? No, that's not where we wanted the cuts.
Absolutely. That's how I've seen the budget evolve. There was an attempt to cut the legislature and the governor's budget, and then it was restored back into higher levels. And why are we doing that when there's more critical services that need to be funded? And so what really needs to happen, and what is going to happen, is in January when the new governor comes in, is that a whole reorganization. There's probably going to be a new budget that, if I'm governor, I'm going to send down a new budget, down to the legislature for their consideration, that shows how we're going to reduce the governor's office from the top. We're going to cut it in half. In $8 million now, we're going to cut it in half and set as an example. And we're going to just ensure that the critical services are delivered. Other services are either worked through a public-private partnership or fully privatized. And that's how we're going to really get this government out of what we've been seeing, and not taking on the same old solutions we've been seeing throughout the years.
All right. Well, you said a lot, and we'll see how it plays out. Primaries coming up in just a couple of weeks, less than a couple of weeks. Saturday after this.
That's right.
Unreal. Okay, listen, Dennis, I'll talk to you pretty soon. Have a great night tonight with your public hearing.
Thank you so much.
All right. Always appreciate the time on the telephone. These guys unbelievably busy, especially the ones that are running for public office. We're closing in on 9 o'clock in the morning. In the next hour, we'll spend some time with Nate tonight and Angel Sablan. And you might be wondering, what is it that Ray wants out of Angel Sablan now? Well, I'll tell you in the next hour of the program. In the meantime, a couple of other things that are playing around as thoughts in my head here. I gotta read this story. Which newspaper is it in? Hold on. I think it's this might be in the PDN. Where they put their page numbers. No, that's in the Post. All right. Hold on, because it's in my mind, it might be one of the funniest stories that we've got going on. Proof positive that methamphetamine will make you stupid is the story. I think Kevin was reading a couple of times this morning about the guy that plain forgot to go to his probation officer. Why? Because he was tweaking. That's why. More on that story and plenty more on other stories as the program continues. This is KUSG Hagåtña headquarters for Fox News Live. That's coming up next.
Resting its case, I'm Lisa Lacera, Fox News. The prosecution calling its final witnesses in the fraud trial of former Trump campaign manager Paul Manafort.
Including a Treasury Department official who took the stand for a second time and testified that Paul Manafort and his business partner Rick Gates, the government's star witness, never filed paperwork to document the foreign bank accounts for their company. The judge said he was allowing the testimony but warned the jurors that the government had the chance to indict Manafort's company and chose not to. Only Mr. Manafort is on trial, and we expect tomorrow morning to learn whether the defense will call its own witnesses and reveal its own evidence.
Fox's Catherine Herridge in Alexandria, Virginia. The trial, the first to emerge from the special counsel Robert Mueller's investigation, but it does not relate to any allegations of Russian interference in the 2016 election. Peter Strzok, the FBI agent who came under fire for sending anti-Trump texts, is now out of a job.
Strzok's attorney says the firing amounts to political pressure to punish the longtime FBI agent for political speech. Strzok, who was involved in both the Hillary Clinton email and Russia election interference investigations, had sent text messages very critical of President Trump and raising questions of bias.
Fox's Jared Halpern in Washington. Interior Secretary Ryan Zinke getting a first-hand look at the Carr fire, which has burned hundreds of acres near Redding, California. He says there are multiple reasons for the fires that have been broken out all over the West.
There's a lot of reasons for these fires. You have a longer fire season, you have a drought, you have higher temperatures, and then you have a fuel load, and the density of burnable material is unprecedented in a lot of areas.
Zinke calling on people to remove dead trees and officials to manage forests so the fires don't have fuel. Agriculture Secretary Sonny Perdue also toured the damage. Fox News, fair and balanced.
As a mayor, I see the first-hand struggles our people face. I see the real effects of tax increases and what happens when our government cannot deliver the services timely. I've heard the promises made year after year. I know what it really means when these promises go unfulfilled. Who do you trust to finally get things done right? I'm in with Lou and Josh because they have the experience to lead us and deliver what they promise.
I'm Lou Leon Guerrero, and I approve this message.
Paid for by the committee to elect Leon Guerrero Tenorio. Tony Sanford, Treasurer.
Say hello to high-speed data on the widest 4G LTE network in the Marianas. We've just upped your prepaid data, so make your big plans bigger with 1 gigabyte of data per day. Bigger prepaid data for your big plans that just keep getting better. Enjoy high-speed data and unlimited local talk and text on the widest 4G LTE network in the Marianas. Text LTE to 3282, select a plan, and enjoy 1 gigabyte of data per day. Docomo Pacific, better together. Some conditions apply.
For more information.
President Trump pitching in this evening for New York Congresswoman Claudia Tenney, who's running for re-election. He took shots at Democratic Governor Andrew Cuomo for not allowing fracking in the state.
You know, you have among the richest in the United States of sitting under your land and you don't take it, and other people are taking it, meaning other states are taking it. And I said to myself, I think maybe I'm going to consider running for governor very strongly. And then I decided to run for president instead.
Some political analysts think Cuomo is positioning himself for a presidential run in 2020. Lawmakers vowing to step up oversight of the data collection practices of Google and other tech companies after an Associated Press investigation found Google continues to collect user location data even if they've used a privacy setting that claims to prevent it. Virginia Senator Mark Warner said in a statement to the AP he's calling for policies that give users more control. A big ratings Sunday for CBS Sports thanks to Tiger Woods.
Tiger Sunday boosting the ratings for CBS Sports. The network reporting Monday that they saw a 69% increase in TV ratings from the final round of the PGA Championship last year, thanks in part to Tiger's superb 6-under-64 round that propelled him to second place at the major, falling just shy of the win against Brooks Koepka. Koepka, though, getting a shout-out on social media from an avid golf fan, President Donald Trump. Brooks Koepka just won his third golf major, and he did it not only with his powerful game, but with his powerful mind. He has been a man of steel on the tour and will have many victories, including majors ahead of him. Congrats to Brooks and his great team on a job well done. Matt Napolitano, Fox News.
New York City police say actress-director Sean Young is still under investigation after they say she stole 2 laptops belonging to a production company that fired her. No charges have been filed against the 58-year-old, but an NYPD spokesman says detectives are still looking into the matter. Lisa Lacera, Fox News Radio.
Apply today for First Hawaiian Bank's United Mileage Plus credit card, and upon approval, you will be entered to win 2 round-trip business class tickets on United. You'll also earn up to 30,000 bonus miles, 5,000 upon opening your new account, and 25,000 after spending $1,500 within 3 months. And you'll get 2 times the mileage on United ticket purchases. Apply by August 31, 2018. Stop by any branch or visit us online at FHB.com. Terms and conditions apply. Sweepstakes starts on July 1, 2018 and ends on August 31, 2018. Open to legal residents of Guam and the Commonwealth of the Northern Mariana Islands aged 18 years or older. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited. Visit www.fhb.com/United Sweepstakes for official rules and complete details. Member FDIC.
Well, that's interesting. 5 after 9. This is the Ray Gibson Show on the Point. Reminder that your lunch is going to be waiting for you when you get there. I don't want to say it's going to be there like at noon. I don't want to say it's going to be there at 1 o'clock. You can probably go there right now and enjoy a fantastic lunch at King's. It's beefsteak tomorrow, pork sinigang, and Fridays, of course, beef tinaktak. Or choose the pick 2 or pick 3 combos. It's lunch for you at King's.
Many of you are like Governor Gutierrez and Fred Bordalio. They know Guam is a special place and are worried about the current state of our island home. They're tired of the political finger-pointing while our people continue to suffer and struggle in their daily lives. Please vote Gutierrez-Bordalio on August 25th, and together we will make Guam, Guam again. Thank you.
I'm Carl Gutierrez, and I approve this message.
Portions of the program brought to you by APL. That's short for American President Lines. APL is shipping the future.
Family Finance has been serving the people of Guam since 1959, and they'll continue to be there for you in the years to come. Whether you're looking to get a personal loan for that summer vacation or paying off those long overdue bills, Family Finance has got you covered. Apply for a personal loan from $1,000 up to $3,500 by calling Family Finance in Hagåtña at 475-4545, Upper Tuon 647-5626, or in Dededo 633-4473. Family Finance has been serving the people of Guam since 1959.
I'm sure I'm supposed to read something else here. Oh, yeah, these guys. Micronesian Renewable Energy. Here's the deal. You've got a rooftop. You can turn the space on the roof into electricity. These guys know how to do it. And you're going, I heard solar is expensive, Ray. Not if somebody else is installing it on your roof. You got to call these guys and find out how it's done at MRE.
Don't wait another day and waste another dollar. You can start saving today. At Guahan Insurance Services, we are here to help protect your investment and save you money. We offer insurance advising for business, car, and home insurance. So come and visit us at our new office at Camacho Landmark Center at Marine Corps Drive in Tamuning, and let us show you that you can count on us for all your insurance needs. Call 475-1162.
Ray Gibson brings you closer to the action. Watch and listen live on thepoint.gu.
Don't look at me, Mommy. I'm Facebooking. Yeah. Hey, was there a glitch in the electric? Did it glitch?
Well, it sure glitched for us, but everybody's the generator's not on, so I don't know what happened.
Okay,
I'm checking earthquakes. I didn't feel an earthquake, so it couldn't have been that. Yes.
What?
GPA.
Getting a little bit of flickering in the studio. Your mileage may vary. I don't know what it is. Maybe it has something to do with a little bit of the rain that we've had, some wind that we're expecting to get tonight. I don't know. It just maybe just somebody turned on a dryer somewhere in Dedido, and that was all the system could take. But it's rather than going to any kind of load shedding.
Blake got his charger and plugged it in.
There we go. There we go. 888-8255. That number again is 888-8255. Let me give you the WhatsApp here. It is 988-5874. Again, that is 988-5874. You don't have to send me something now. If you don't want to, it's all right. But at least put me in the gizmo. At least put me into your deal. Hold on. I just turned on my computer and I just got the screen going. Anyway, so put me in your contacts. That way, when you do have something, when you do have a note that you want to be able to share with everybody, and a video, or maybe there's a picture that you want to send. Like somebody sent us a picture this morning of that bus that was riding piggyback on the whatchamacallit. So I just interesting to see what was going to be taking place with all of that. So where to in this hour of the program? I don't know. You want to play around with the political gossip? I spent just a little bit of time talking about this last hour. I think it's interesting that Carlotta Leon Guerrero is on the ad here for Lou Leon Guerrero, and never mind the fact that they've got similar last names. It's the other interesting thing that a Republican is now stumping for Lou Leon Guerrero. But is it also possible that this is not, because I'd made the point about Lou Leon Guerrero and the very astute team of political strategists that she's got at her disposal. I know these guys are sharp guys, logical, strategic, tactical thinkers. They know about the game theory and all of that. So when all of a sudden I see Lou Leon Guerrero courting Republicans, what I like to refer to as convertible Republicans. And maybe it's guys that are upset at Ray about the gun grab. Maybe it's guys that are upset at the administration over any number of things that they see as faults of this administration, and going, well, Ray hasn't really distanced himself from the administration. I'm kind of looking for change here, and if I'm not seeing it on the Republican side, then maybe I'm going to convert over to the Democrat side. And so I think tactically that was a good idea. That was a smart move that Lou Leon Guerrero made, and I think continues to make. So is this the only of the convertible Republicans that we're going to be hearing from in these Carlotta Leon or these Lou Leon Guerrero spots? Will there be others? It's not a new concept, to be sure. My Uncle Jim Underwood, Republican. His father, my grandfather, there at the beginning of the Republican Party on Guam in the 1960s. Very young Paul Calvo, very old Ray Underwood. But they were there in the beginning of the Republican Party back in the 1960s as it began to formulate, as we began to stretch our political legs a little bit more. So there's Jim Underwood stumping for Carl T.C. Gutierrez. It's happened in the past. And likely to happen again. So this will be interesting to watch. Who else is going to be jumping in there? And is there such a thing as a convertible Republican? Yes, that's the answer. The question is, how many of them are there? How many of them are there? And the reason why, and again, it's I sit around with some of these political guys talking about things. Obviously, Ray's going to get a walk in the primary election. It's going to be Sunday morning, and he's going to sleep in. He didn't have to stay up and watch the numbers. He just needs a certain percentage of the votes cast, and he is going to move forward. He'll get them. He and Tony will get them. Who is going to win the gubernatorial primary on the Democrat side? That's the very interesting question. And I have not seen personally. I've not seen any numbers that indicate that any one particular team has gone the distance, has really widened the gap between first and second place. And if you've seen numbers, unless you got those numbers yourself, I would doubt them. I mean, unless you were there in the room where they were making the phone calls, I would consider that, the possibilities of that being fake news are up very high in my book. Because we all got access to something that can present something that looks like a report. Oh, here's a spreadsheet. Here's some data. Well, what numbers were called? I'd like to call those numbers myself and see who answers the phone and see if they've ever heard from anybody from Guam. That's what I'd like to see. So I don't believe any of the numbers, and my gut feeling says about the same thing. Nobody has been able to make a very, very broad gap between first and second and third and fourth in this gubernatorial election. But still in all, the question that I had is, Ray's gonna march through, nothing to worry about. And as an example, does Ray, though, have enough? How do I want to formulate this? I did it perfectly when I was writing it down in the WhatsApps that I was on, the conversations that I was having. But will the winner of the gubernatorial primary on the Democratic side, will they have enough juice to be able to grab all of the convertible Republicans and win? I don't know what's happening. You know what? I should have asked Dennis. I should have asked Dennis when I had him on the line. Is there a unity pledge? Because I haven't heard about that. I haven't heard about a unity pledge or anything like that. So I'm kind of curious as to whether one has been taken. But is it possible that whoever wins the Democratic nomination in this primary election, will they have the juice among themselves with all of those Democrat voters to beat the Republican nominee? And if they don't, is it possible that there are enough convertible Republicans that will jump over to their side and give them the votes? And so what I'm trying to sort out is it possible that even as early as this, the handwriting might be on the wall? And I'm not saying it is. It's just, I'm just talking, speaking out in the cold here in my stream of consciousness. But is it possible that the decision has already been made? That it's already happened. Ray's got this, and he's going to have this many voters, and that's all he's going to get between now and the general election. All of it. This is the high water mark for the Tenorio Ada campaign. And then you take the winner of the Democratic gubernatorial primary, all of the Democrats that should be gravitating towards them, and then the convertible Republicans, and then an army of undecided. Have we already reached that point where you can't say that you can call the election and say it's going to be a Democrat? We call the general election now and just say it's going to be a Democrat. That I haven't seen, and I don't know if anybody is pondering that. Now, the answer that I got was probably not. From at least one of the guys that had been observing for a long time. He said, maybe not. And I said, why? He says, because unless it's Carl, you don't have the kind of machinery. Lou doesn't have the kind of machinery. Dennis doesn't have the kind of machinery. Frank doesn't have the kind of machinery that a Carl Gutierrez, or let me throw this name at you, Ricky Berdallo would have. Then we're talking maybe slam dunk. The question is, can Carl make it all the way through? And the answer, I don't know, obviously. We'll see what happens Sunday after this. My name is Ray Gibson, very close, very dear personal friend and colleague in the radio business, Luis Muñoz. How you doing there?
Hi, Ray. How are you?
I'm good. I didn't see you at the fundraiser for Telena last night. What happened?
Yeah, we were. I was caught up. I'm getting ready for a public hearing for this evening for my home cultivation bill, and a lot of things happening. Trying to recover from the whole 2-week grueling budget session. So.
Oh God, yeah. What is there a panic among some of you guys over at the legislature that the governor might veto this and send you back in for another 9 days of the passion of the legislature?
Well, that's always the passion of the legislature. I like how you say that.
Yeah, well, you watch The Passion of the Christ. I mean, it was just one flogging torture event after another, and I got to a point where I was beginning to feel like I was the one being tortured watching those sessions.
It's kind of funny how you mentioned that Passion of the Christ and related to the Passion of the Budget, but I do remember in the middle of the theater watching that movie, wanting to stand up and just say, stop this madness. And I actually remember wanting to do that in between budget sessions. So it's a great analogy. Both very grueling, and it was very mentally exhausting. And we did a lot of discussion even beyond the microphone in our joint caucus where we had to come to terms with some things that there's some people are just very headstrong about certain things, and it's really hard to bend. And then you find that hard to communicate and coordinate with.
Yeah. And there's just so much stuff flying fast and furious. I think we need to do a better job of the pacing and placement of some of the amendments, because I think there's certainly some of those things that get talked about and thrown into amendment language that sometimes I think maybe we need to have a public hearing on. But that's, maybe when I'm the Ayatollah.
Understand amendments, you mean? Is that what you're saying?
Oh, yeah.
How to understand public policy amendments of 101 kind of class.
Yeah, well, I get it. I understand what goes on, but I think sometimes some of the amendments that get in there are amendments that probably should have had some kind of a public hearing. The conversation, as an example, let's take Mike St. Nicholas and the supplemental, what is it, the SARs that he was talking about, supplemental appropriations. Interesting idea, but I also think that there should have been a little bit more of a warning coming up on that. I think it would have made for an interesting public hearing to hear what the community would have had to say about that. Whether that was the kind of pressure that we wanted to put on the Department of Revenue, the Taxation Administration, and the governor's office. That sucks when the calls drop. So we're having electrical problems and we're having phone problems at the same time. It only rained a little bit this morning. Very delicate situation. We'll see if we can get her back on the line. I'm sorry to see now. It's going to tick me off because I wasted time talking about all of that stuff. I wanted to ask her about the home cultivation of medicinal cannabis under certain conditions. That's a measure that's going to be going up for a public hearing tonight at the legislature. The fund will begin at 5, and if you're wondering why we're doing it at 5, it is because they were, frankly, they were under the impression that they might actually be in budget conversations, so they figured, we still got to have the public hearing, so let's try to do it after we might be doing the deal on the budgets. But it's scheduled, so that's where it is. Okay, Luis, on the measure tonight, the 302-34, permitting the home cultivation of medical cannabis under certain conditions. I like this. I think it would make a nice in-between move from going from the inoperable medicinal marijuana measure that the people have already voted on that we're never, ever going to get, and the personal consumption side.
I like to be very optimistic still that we are going to get it. I do not. This particular bill has a sunset clause on it. That once we do get a dispensary going and we get all the things in place and all the moons aligned, this home cultivation will cease. But the good thing about having this law is that even in the future, somewhere in the future, if something happens in a dispensary, I don't know, something happens tragically with a dispensary and they just go away, then we have this again. So the law will always be in place to help the patients that need medicinal marijuana. So that's one of the things. And whether we make it happen now, which I'm hoping we do because we still don't have a dispensary, or it comes into play later on in the future, however way it happens, I'm hoping it happens as soon as possible.
Yeah, well, I personally, for me, I keep looking at this, and I like the medical cannabis concept. For people that believe that this is going to help them through the suffering that they've got. I mean, I'm not one of those guys that believes what I see or hear about, cancer. My cancer was cured because I smoked marijuana. I'm more likely to hear I've got a better appetite. I rest better. My anxieties are fewer because I have access to marijuana for whatever it is that happens to be ailing me. So I don't hold any illusions about the power of marijuana when it comes to medicine. But I'm also one of the guys that says I'm tired of having to worry about police officers that put their lives on the line and laws that they have to enforce for something as simple as simple possession of marijuana and maybe even somebody that you know what, I got a green thumb. I like to grow this stuff, and when it's done being grown, I like to smoke it because it takes the edge off my weekend. I don't get in fights. I don't beat my wife or kids. I don't get in the car and drive. I'm not driving a bus or an ambulance when it happens. So what's wrong with these guys being able to imbibe in a little bit of marijuana the same way that you have a glass of wine and I have 18 beers?
I was going to use that how I relate to that too as well, because at the end of the day, when it's really stressful, everyone seems it's so innocent that you have a glass of wine. So why not? I mean, I don't choose that as my particular way of relaxing too. So I don't disagree with that opportunity for an adult use program, maybe to legalize cannabis in the future. I don't disagree with it. I do believe.
Well, just find out what they're doing up in Saipan, Louise. I mean, this could be one of the things that makes the big difference, and you've got time to be able to do it between now and the primary. Is go and photocopy everything that they're talking about doing up in Saipan. I believe the House has passed it already, and the Senate is going to pass it. And so just one or two more signatures away from becoming a law up in Saipan, and it would provide for recreational use of marijuana. And oh, by the way, if the doctor wants you to be smoking marijuana so your appetite gets better or your inflammation of fibromyalgia is not such a big problem for you, we're not going to bust you.
Right. And that's some of the things that we discussed at the Rotary. I mean, I learn a lot about this program every single time it comes up. I learned from the Rotary that. Or not from the Rotary, but within that discussion that.
Oh, they're all stoners.
Yeah.
I'm kidding.
Doctors can't give you a prescription for medicinal cannabis. They can't do that, but they can give you a diagnosis for a certain condition that will qualify you for that, and then that qualification you can take to public health. You get the certificate, and if this bill passes, you can grow it in your home.
Yeah, well, that may be even more regulation than I want. I just if the doctor says this might help you, and Howard Hemsing, go ask him for a plant.
I agree with you, but I don't know if I get it directly from Howard Hemsing. I think people still need to be very cautious who they get it from. So you need to. That's one of the reasons why I don't disagree with the dispensary, because I do believe that there needs to be a lab, because it is medicine and it needs to be tested, and especially if you're taking it for medicinal purposes. Okay,
well, if you're taking it for medicinal purposes, but if you're doing it recreationally, I don't want to have to go through a dispensary. I mean, and who's going to operate that? That's going to be the government of Guam, and I don't know about you, Louise, but the government of Guam sucks at running things. If the government of Guam ran the beach, we'd run out of sand. So it's one of those things. Just you come out and say, if you want to grow marijuana because it will make you feel better, however you want to, mentally or physically, then you can grow this many plants, and don't sell it to little kids. And you have to be over 21.
I understand the distrust to the government. I mean, it took many years for people to feel this way about the government. Little by little, it just kept growing and growing into this big monster that it is. And unfortunately, it's just taking us piece by piece to fix it, and it's very hard to do, but we're trying.
Senator Louise Muñoz with me, and somebody on the Facebook Live wanted me to ask you how you voted on the budget bill. I knew, but I forgot. So how'd you go on that?
I voted yes for the current budget with the Section 30.
Okay, with the section, I'm not convinced. I'm not 1,000% convinced. I got and I gotta hope Les is right, and I hope that they agree with the $78 million. It felt that was one of those Hail Mary passes, right?
Yeah, well, yes, because it was an 8-7 vote, so it passed, just barely passed, with an 8-7 majority. The budget that had the SAR in it had a less chance of passing. Even with the notion that
I think it could have passed. I think, but nobody wanted to let it go, because they figured that the second it hit the governor's desk, they were in for a veto, and nobody wanted to come back. Like I said, for 9 days worth of the passion. So you take comfort in knowing that there might be another $10 million coming in from Section 30, and it is possible that there's a significant number of people that are in the 34th Guam legislature that won't have to deal with it in the 35th Guam legislature. Depending on how people will end up voting in the primary and the general. So, path of least action is, if Les said that there's a definite maybe we're going to get this, I'm going to go ahead and support it. However, you will have to, I think, answer to some of the voters that are also taxpayers around here that are upset about holding on to the continuation of the increase in the gross receipts tax.
Well, it's kind of ironic, too, that some of the people who were completely against raising taxes, also, some of them even voted on this bill only because there was not a whole lot of options on the table. We have to come to some type of agreement and sometimes a compromise. And even for the people who voted no for the increase in the BPT, voted for this bill, knew that there had to be some kind of compromise.
Yep.
And unfortunately, we're trying to put all the pieces together and this is what we came up with. So we'll see what happens with the governor, and hopefully, if there are some issues that we can correct, if he does veto this and there's some issues that we can correct, it doesn't take another 9 or 10 days for us to make it happen.
We'll see what happens.
Like Senator Nelson did say, the people were in chaos for, they were uncertain of their future. A lot of people were uncertain of their future while we were deliberating through this whole process. But
No. Everybody on Guam is, and I recognize that there are times where the legislature seems to be the managing body of the great union of government of Guam employees, and there were 1,500 people that Les said would have been affected, but because of the steps that were taken by the legislature and the way you voted on this measure, that pain has now been spread across the entire community. Everybody is going to have to pay that additional percent in the business privilege tax, and even the real property taxes that looked like it was only pointed at a small select group of individuals and business of property owners in the community. They're landlords, and they're going to take that out on their tenants, some of whom are regular people, some of whom are regular businesses, some of whom are the government of Guam. So everybody's bills are going to be going up. I think there was a great opportunity to take a lancet, if you will, to some of the ridiculous spending in the government of Guam, and I don't think the taxpayers saw enough of that. But that's what I'm hearing. That's the way I feel.
Yeah, and there were a lot of cuts that were made also that are included in this bill that didn't come to to the limelight, as you will. But there are a lot of cuts that did happen in this bill too as well. So I truly believe that this was probably the most comparable way for us to get out of this situation, and hopefully we can manage to figure out maybe a more comfortable way. There was no painless way out of this situation at all.
No, absolutely not. Tough decisions, but I think the body itself, and I think the administration is probably going to be moving along to any way that we could maintain the status quo. And for however you want to call it, big government or provision of services. Although my guess is that there are going to be some services that are curtailed because among the cuts that were made involve GPD and GFD. Is that right?
Yes.
Well, I'm sorry. You can't cut the essential services. There's all kinds of other crap that should have been gone after.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. Well, we had some big issues, especially with education too. We tried so hard to give them as much as we could. GMH was another big issue too. We had to pull from someone to support GMH and education. It was really tough to do that.
Yeah, I know it, and even with the even with the largesse, the generosity towards Guam Memorial Hospital, recognizing how much trouble they seem to be in. There didn't seem to be anything in the budget measures that would guarantee that we don't see Guam Memorial Hospital in this mess again. I can see all of the additional dollars going to them, and all of those additional dollars are going to be impotent to solve the problems at the hospital. Hey, I got to run. It's fun talking with you again. Let's go sing.
Thank you, Ray. Let's do that.
Okay. We'll see what happens, and good luck in the primary.
All right. Thank you very much, Ray.
You're welcome. Senator Louise Muñoz, and here's the deal. She's got the public hearing later on tonight on the act relative to permitting the home cultivation of medicinal cannabis under certain conditions. You get the... I'm not the only one, right? And not to be critical, but there seems to be... I still think there's just I get it, but I don't get it among people over at the legislature. There was the mandate for medicinal marijuana, and nobody when they asked us about medicinal marijuana, they did not say, "Would you like medicinal marijuana?" and have this massive government bureaucracy come along with it. Because I would have said no. I said no, I don't like that. Would you be in favor of medicinal marijuana? Yes, I stubbed my toe. It hurts really bad. And I want to be able to away some of that pain, or at least think about something else. What if dog was spelled G-O-D? So it's that. Yes. Oh, fairy dust. In the studio. Look at that. It's playing with the air quotes. Where was I?
You distracted yourself again.
No, you did. You're the one in charge of sound effects. You're the guy that does that.
Bureaucracy and PUT.
Yeah, bureaucracy and PUT. And the answer is no, I didn't want that. You know what I wanted? I wanted to be able to just go to a doctor and say, you know what, I've got this. And there were, 12 different things that, check mark. Do you have this? Do you have this? Do you have this? Right. And if you say yes on one of them, then they say, okay, you can smoke marijuana. We suggest. We We don't have a problem with that. What is it? They can recommend marijuana, but you can't prescribe it, right? Stupid. Anyway, so they would recommend it, and then I would be able to go someplace and get marijuana. Or can I just grow it myself?
Well, not until you take a trip over to DPHSS and get your certificate.
But no.
Yeah, no, and I mean, I've never heard it being done that way in other places. Other medicinal places, they allow the doctors to go ahead and say, yes, here, you can do
here's
this.
the recommendation from my doctor. I mean? This piece of paper with my doctor's signature at the bottom of the recommendation should be sufficient, so that when the guy from the Mandania Task Force comes to my house and says, why are you growing so many of those plants? I can say, this is the paper from my doctor. And you go, oh, looks legitimate, looks real. But does it take a stamp from the Department of Public Health and Social Services to legitimize a signature from a doctor? My name is Ray. I'm Dr. Dope.
Dr. Ray.
Dr. Dope. I want you to call me that, baby. My theme song is Wango Tango.
Dr. High.
Okay. And anyway, so nobody voted for that. That's not what people voted on. And so I think the time is right. The time is right for somebody with some bravery over at the legislature to introduce a measure similar, I think, to what they're doing up in Saipan. And Jim Howard's on the thing. And no, I still haven't gone and taken a look at what they're talking about with it. Up in Saipan. But like I said, the House is moving on it. Senate's probably going to vote on it. And, they got a fairly young governor up in Saipan, too. I was at a party with him, and I almost asked him for a beer. Hey, could you do me a favor? Could you go get me a beer?
Yeah, hey, boy.
Hey, you, just bring the cooler. Just drag the cooler over here, like. And as it turns out, somebody just before I was going to ask him to fetch me a beer said, "Hey, that's the governor of Saipan." I'm like, "Hey, no way, get out of here!" We laughed about that. This is not just one of those crazy race stories. We actually saw each other after that, and I laughed about it when I told him. At least he seemed to have laughed about it. But anyway, so that's what they're going to be doing up there or along those lines. So yes, on the idea of doing this, right? Can we agree with that, or is it possible that even if you introduce something like that, even if she said, "I understand now, I see the light, I listened to Ray after the phone call, and what we're asking for is access to marijuana for medicinal and recreational purposes without a gigantic government of Guam bureaucracy. I don't want to get a certification. I don't want to have to go to public health. I don't want to have to stand in line. I don't want to have to do anything. I just want to be able to go to the doctor. The doctor says yes. Or if I decide it's Friday night and this is what I want to do, or if I've got this much dirt in the backyard, this is what I want to grow in it. You keep your hibiscus. You keep that, right? You keep your atis and your guavas and your coconuts. I got something else going to make me feel good on a going forward basis. I just increased the value of this house. What are we talking about here? Governor Reddy put everything in general fund for the last 7 years, spent it all knowing that since their accountability of the funds couldn't be tracked, putting lawmakers to having to do these hard choices of damned if you do, damned if you don't. Sitting in the kitchen while having lawmakers put out his fire. Booney Dog says, my phone, no power. But Booney Dog's also the guy that said earlier in the program, he says, it's Tuesday. You know what rhymes with Tuesday? Tequila. It's 9:37. That's iConnect time. The practical choice, my guy. Don't spend more when you can spend less. That's what practicality is all about. It's a lesson that we need to teach people in the government. Why pay more for things like push-to-talk or mobile plans or internet plans if you don't have to? They got plans that are practical. Find them at iConnect.
Join Kathy and her team at Furniture Kathy Style for their grand opening this week. Their store is packed with fabulous furniture from brand names like Ashley, Klausner, Violino Leathers, and more, with prices that would blow your mind. Huge discounts throughout the store, such as their 4-piece bedroom set from Holland House, starting at $5.99. If you're looking for quality, style, and affordable furniture, come into Furniture Kathy Style in Hagåtña, open every day from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m.
I forgot what I was going to tell you about. It had something to do with saving money. I'm all about saving money because the less money that I spend on food and electricity is money that I can spend on partying with my friends. And that's why when I see a bargain at some place I like to shop or eat anyway, oh, dude, I'm all about that. So here's the deal. At Wendy's, they have a Buffalo Ranch crispy chicken sandwich that you would be happy to pay $3.50 for. You would be happy to pay $4.98 if it came with, Wendy's fries and a shake. Right? You'd go, yeah, that sounds about right. But you know what? The crispy chicken, bold buffalo ranch sauce, and melty cheese sandwich at Wendy's is only $1. That's it. $1. Right? Buy 2 or 3. You know, at that price, you can buy one for everybody in the office and probably still have enough dough in there for one more for you. So that's maybe what's going to be for lunch or dinner or midnight snack at Wendy's. Now, that's better.
The Extra Point with Jerry Roberts of Guam Training every morning on The Ray Gibson Show.
I have to admit, I'm quite often attracted to articles and posts that have titles like 5 Secret Totally Sure Ways to Grow Hair Like a Gorilla. I'm Jerry Roberts, and at 7:20 a.m. on The Ray Gibson Show, I've got one of those for you. 5 qualities of remarkably loyal employees.
You can find daily transcripts of The Extra Point by Jerry Roberts at GuamTraining.com. Tune in every weekday morning at 7:20 for The Extra Point with Jerry Roberts on The Ray Gibson Show on 93.3 The Point.
You know, loyalty goes in both directions. Did you know that? Are you aware? I got a shirt. It's one of my favorite shirts. I love wearing it. It's and it says United on it. And every once in a while, United, you know, those guys will get into, somebody will complain about a plane not coming in from Hawaii or something like that, or getting bumped out, or, you know, you see these stories and they go, why would you wear that shirt? I said, because I'm a member of their loyalty program. Yeah, I fly that airlines a lot. And I have many friends in that airlines. And my loyalty, it goes in both directions. So they're loyal to me and I'm loyal to them. And that's all I need to know about that. And maybe it's the same thing with employees. We'll find out tomorrow morning at 7:20. As we make our way to the top of the hour, always fun to spend some time with my friend, very close friend, dear personal friend, Nate DeKnight, whose headlines in his editorial contributions are, wow, it's busy for GVB these days.
Yeah, happy day, Ray. How you doing?
I'm doing okay. Did you go out drinking with Carl again last night?
I did not. No, I'm. It's like that's like a real occurrence for me. But yeah, it's good to catch up with everyone, and yeah, it's been busy. We got a busy time here at the bureau as usual, and I think I covered some of that in my column.
Yeah, well, we won the safety award. Sodexo's got the half a day pledge that they've renewed, and remind me one of these days we got to get around to doing that here at Choice Broadcasting. There's an art exhibit that you guys are looking for, and you're still looking for volunteers to pick up the algae down in Tumon, huh?
Yeah, we're gonna do another round, Ray. I mean, that algae is just if you look, especially in front of like Matapang, it's just getting worse and worse, and we're going to do the volunteer thing, but I'm also looking at, you might possibly have to hire someone because it's so bad, So we appreciate everyone coming out, and we'll try to do as much as we can, on that day. But then, yeah, we got to see, because that algae is so evasive, and it's going to not only make the beach look bad, but it could really kill the coral and the fish and all the marine life. And as you know, Tumon Bay is, the lifeblood, and why millions of visitors come to Guam, so we got to make sure we take care of it.
But it's not all the way around Tumon, right? I mean, because I've got a couple of spots that I like to go to. I was out in front of the old Fujita one was the weekend before last, and last week I was over by the beach bar, and I didn't see any of that.
Yeah, it kind of it's more towards the middle to the southern part of the bay. I'm not a scientist, so I'm not too sure why it kind of stops around there. So. I think we get a little bit more fresh water towards the north side.
Yeah, could be. So, yeah, that it's Matapang Beach, and a lot of people use Matapang Beach, so it's possible, and it's also at a low point, and so maybe there's not enough fresh like aquifer water that's coming in through that area as well. Frankly, you see all of these unknowns. Where it comes to this particular bloom of algae that we have in Tumon these days, frankly, makes me feel good that we didn't go with that plan of culverting all of the rainwater out into Tumon a couple of years ago. You remember that?
Oh yeah, definitely, and yeah, I totally. Shoot, I mean, that was a tough one to decide on, because number one is that ponding basin. It does. I mean, currently today it overflows in heavy rain. And then that water goes down Fujita Road and into Tumon Bay unfiltered. So it's kind of like there's a gravity outlet now. That one would have kind of permanentized the solution.
Right, but in this case though, as it goes down there, it's almost underground. I don't know that it's surface water that's going down to the Fujita. No, I don't ever see the surface side. I think it's running through the sand.
No, well, I mean, in a heavy rain, that ponding basin would just overflow totally, right? And then then there's a road right next to it, right? And then it shoots down. So yeah, I mean, but I have noticed, the culverts have really helped. The additional culverts that the GITA project, so they added all those culverts. So we're not seeing as much flooding, but the water does then all go into the ponding basin, which is not big enough. So the water has to end up going somewhere. And so when it's a heavy downpour, that thing does overflow. And what's really funny is that they just finished that project, and I talked to Larry over at GITA, and he said it overflows, and then they found a bunch of tilapia stuck in the fence because they fixed the fence around it.
I told you there's fish in that water.
Yeah, there's a bunch of tilapia in there, and it overflowed, and it all got caught in the fence. So
that's something else. Hey, I noticed, and it feels like it's too early to start putting this out, but I noticed that you guys have also put out the proposal request for people to put together Christmas decorations or holiday decorations. Is that just for Tumon?
Yeah, that's the annual the Tumon Bay holiday lighting that we're doing year after year. So yeah, the 3-year contract is up, so we're putting it out for procurement. Yeah.
Okay.
If anyone's interested, you haven't had too much responses in the past, so.
Well, how much is the job worth?
It's between it's usually around 150,000 is the total contract.
Yeah, that doesn't sound like a lot of money for a couple of linear miles down in Tumon. Both sides, huh? You on both sides.
Yeah, well, I mean, we've kind of been focusing on the village that we do, and to be honest, it's about 6 weeks, and that's a lot of lights, a lot of construction, a lot of landscaping to put that thing together. So, with the talk of all the, just internally with all the talk of budget cuts, and our budget got cut about at $1.5 million. It's one of those programs that we were looking at, possibly not continuing, but. I remember one year we didn't do it while I was here a couple of years ago, and the community was super upset with me.
Yeah. It's a great money. It's a great place to save some money, but otherwise it looks like bah humbug. Like we're not celebrating anything now. Birth of Christ, who's that?
It's our family tradition to come down and take our family picture there at the lights, and you just do it this year. We're gonna meet me in the parking lot.
Well, they had that good spot right across the Hyatt. There's that big opening right across the Hyatt, and then there's an opening right across your place, which I think would be nice if we wanted a couple of central, easy to put together and easy to take down kind of holiday scenes, and then leave the rest of it to the hotels.
Yeah, definitely, and I think we definitely want to continue that program, and we could kind of scale it to the level of the budget. But yeah, I think it's important for the local community and also for the visitors. So we'll continue to keep that going. So if anyone's interested, please pick up a packet and take a look.
I got you. Nate, it's always a delight talking with you. We'll get together. I haven't had you in the studio for a while, so next time we got something big coming up, then by all means we'll get you in here and we can yak about it and play around on the radio.
Okay, thanks, Ray. Appreciate it.
Okay, wait. Well, I'm thinking, I'm sorry, just one last kernel of something that popped into my head here. Are you okay with the budget that was passed over at the legislature?
Yeah, I mean, considering the situation, I did mention, we did get cut 1.5 versus last year, but, considering the fiscal situation, there needs to be a shared sacrifice. So we're not going to be too, of course, we're not happy about it, but I think it's one of those things we can live with, and we appreciate it, the senators taking a look and helping out the GVB. A couple of areas, and then they did have a travel prohibition across the board that applied to GVB, which doesn't make sense.
Doesn't make any sense at all.
So they were able to remove that, and they did extend the deputy to the end of the year, to give some time to figure out that situation, because we have a very busy schedule here, and our number 2 guy here does so much work, pretty much handling all the operations and some of the procurement and things like that. So, yeah, so overall, I think I think
you can live with it.
Yeah, we have to live with it, and we'll make the best of it and work hard and continue to bring in those record number of visitors. We're kind of excited for next year, Ray. I mean, I think with those additional flights, we have a good chance to get back right on track, and hopefully, speaking about Japan, that's kind of been our main focus. So we got some exciting new changes happening in Japan as well. So continue to push that market. So Yeah, people will say, we really have two main options when it comes to markets. It's it's going to be, of course, Japan and Korea. We don't have China visa waiver, and so when you look at Saipan, they have they have about 250,000 Chinese. We have about 25,000 because of that visa waiver. They have Korea, but they have their Japan market. They have 500 Japanese a month now, so 10 to 15 a day. So that's their Japan market is really eroded. So we can't let that happen.
Can't let it happen here. Can't let it happen here. 9:48 in the morning. Hey, listen, I'm going to let you go. I'm going to share this on Facebook. There's an image of a lady at Fusion in Tumon drinking 17 Jaeger shots. Ask me. This needs to be part of our marketing program to the Japanese and the Koreans. That Guam is a party town. This is where you need to come.
17 shots of you.
17 shots. I'm sharing it now. Follow me on Facebook, guys. I'll see you pretty soon, Nate.
Okay.
You have a terrific day. I think her name is Hyun. Can you 17 shots of Jägermeister?
I would immediately just spontaneously combust.
Really? All right. Well, I've shared it, so it'll be on my timeline for those of you that follow me around on the FB thing. 9:49 in the morning, and I still wanted to get. I don't know if we'll have time for Angel, but if we do, trust me, it'll be short. Man, you know what I forgot to ask Nate? It sucks. I forgot to ask him who he was going to vote for in the primary.
Oh, I'm not sure he gets to say.
You think he'd dodge me on the answer like everybody else has?
So. Yeah.
Has anybody told me? I mean, straight up. Do you remember in the last couple of weeks when I've been asking people who they're going to vote for? Has anybody actually told me? Oh yeah, I'm voting for Carl.
No, I think they've made it pretty clear who they won't vote for.
Yeah, well, that's the easy one. But now, what about Ken? When I was talking with Ken, LG, yesterday, he said...
No, but he did say...
His conclusion in his videos was Frank.
So
but he didn't say he was voting for Frank, right?
No.
Okay.
I'm not, people don't really... I mean, it's a private thing, so... I was raised. There are two things you don't discuss with people. How much money you make and who you vote for.
Yeah. That would make for lousy conversation here on Guam.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Because listen,
well, I don't get to
everybody I talked to last night at the fundraiser for Telena, I asked them that question, and who are you going to be voting for the governor in the Democratic side? And they all told me.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice.
Every single one of them told
I think
me.
that has something
Would you
to
like
do
to know
with
who the number one guy was?
Absolutely.
Get out of here. I'm not telling you. I'll tell you after the election. It's 9:51 in the morning. We'll take a quick break. I'll be right back.
Get a 20-ounce stainless steel Circle K Coffee Club tumbler. Just stop into any Circle K, sign up for our Power Pass rewards program, and after your purchase of 15 cups of premium coffee, any size, you get your tumbler for free. While supplies last, conditions apply. See store for details. Get a 20-ounce stainless steel Circle K Coffee Club tumbler. Just swipe your Power Pass key fob when you purchase Circle K Premium Coffee, any size, and after 15 cups, you'll get your tumbler for free. While supplies last, conditions apply. See store for details.
I've worked with everyone running for governor. I know what they've done and what they haven't. There have been so many missed opportunities to prevent the crises facing Guam. I know Lou would never have allowed GMH to go without resources. She would have closed the revenue loopholes so that the $8.1 billion military buildup generated additional revenue for Guam. She'll make sure our government lives within its means. I'm Carlotta Leon Guerrero, a Republican, and I'm voting for Lou and Josh.
I'm Lou Leon Guerrero, and I approve this message.
Paid for by the committee to elect Leon Guerrero Tenorio. Tony Sanford, Treasurer.
Security Title is honored to join in sponsoring Ray Gibson on The Point. Half a day. I'm Rita Tidegli of Manila, and this is where I start my day, listening to the voices of our community and sharing thoughts about issues that affect all of us. It all boils down to our people and our land. Ingatan ang iyong tahanan, protect your home. When purchasing or refinancing your home, remember to call the professionals at Security Title, just like you call Ray Gibson in the morning.
Is that him? Do I got him? Angel Sablan, the boss of the Mayor's Council. How you doing there, buddy?
I'm fine, Ramon. You're operating on tomorrow time, huh?
I got into a longer conversation with Luis Munoz than I anticipated.
No problem.
Because I was asking about, medicinal and recreational, and she had some interesting responses to the question. So I figured, okay, I'll just let it go. And then I brought up, the budget thing and why she voted to increase my taxes, and so she has to own that now. But I noticed something, and you're going to tell me to call Junie, but I figured I'd call you because it was always in the realm of the mayor's council and the mayors. But I passed by recently the old carnival grounds up in Barrigada. And it looks like somebody has finally gone through there and started to clean up a little bit. Is that you, or is that the mayor?
That's correct. It's, there was a law a bill that was introduced, and now it's law to give that whole area to the Barrigada Mayor's office. And they actually have a development plan for that area, and Mayor June and Vice Mayor Jesse have begun to clean it up to make sure that they get going on their plans.
Well, I'm glad to see that because it was looking kind of slummy.
Yeah, and but right now we still have some junk there, but we're going to be removing it in the next few weeks. And the first thing that's probably going to happen is they're probably going to use it for day markets. The slots we have there, and with the facility that's already there.
Right.
And so they're going to try that first. And, of course, the whole area, including the baseball fields, the football field, that's all now in the Barrigada Mayor's office. So they have a good program that they're going to start here soon.
I tell you what, there's, my dream for that place had always been to turn, between from that one turn over by where the Limtiacos keep their hardware, all the way up to the corner by the post office, is turn that whole area into like a fitness campus,
They have that in your plans too.
Where you got all these, I forget what they're called. You've got
walking trail.
Yeah, like a health trail where you go over here and then you do 5 push-ups, and then you got another thing over here where you lay down and you do leg lifts and that kind of thing. And it's a circuit, and it's vandal-proof. Is the idea is you put things out there that are specifically difficult to break, and they're designed to be outdoors, and they're designed to be used by a lot of different people so that you can get your exercise on. And they've got some great. I've seen some great ones in the States that are almost mechanized.
And those are all part of the plan that the Barrigada Mayor's office. In fact, it's going to be a private-public partnership.
Okay. So while I got you on the phone, now that I've got the answer to that question, is and there's another interesting story about a group of private citizens that have gotten together to try to talk about how we might be able to curb dumping and littering in the villages. And for me, it comes back down to the same thing. And it's a broken record between you and I. Is the mayors already have all of the power that they need? We just need to give them the ability to the desire, if you will, to write out these citations for people in their village that we know have the stray dogs, that we know are doing the dumping, and we'll finally make examples of some people, and then maybe we won't have so many stray dogs and dumping.
And on top of that, have EPA enforce those that are violating. I mean, go after those that are violating. They give mayors notice of violations more often than they give individual citizens that are dumping on the road.
Right. So, get these guys back in the game. It reminds me, I need to do an interview with them, full-blown in-studio kind of. How come you're still letting the trash trucks run around leaking Hanum Basula?
Yeah, right.
But
the recycling funds that we get, Ray, is actually not for the illegal dumping. It's for the recyclables, the abandoned cars, the white goods, the loose metals, the bad tires.
Well, but even there, I throw that blame right back to the legislature and the EPA because we don't have an effective policy on the use of those recycling revolving funds. There's nothing that says we can't take some of those dollars and pick up trash in the village with it, with an idea of taking the trash that we collect to a recycling center.
Yep, you're correct.
So, if we're just throwing it at the dump, okay, that's a problem. But if it's going to some place where we're going to sort and take the rubber out and the metal out and whatever we can massy, we'll go ahead and get some money on that. But anyway, the question that I wanted to ask was actually posed to me by one of the Facebook Live people. And the question is, when you get Angel on the line, ask him who he thinks is in the lead with this gubernatorial election.
Now that you ask, Ray, I've been, these past few weeks, I've been trying to attend and listen to everybody these past few weeks and talking to people. I think, I'll be right up front with you. I think Carl is going to take it on the Democratic side. Just the way things have been happening, people have been turning now their minds, saying, hey, listen, we need somebody that's experienced. We need somebody that knows what to do on the first day. We need somebody that's been there before and has taken us out of the doldrums and brought us up. And I think that's where we need to go again.
Very interesting. And now is that a consensus that you're getting from among the mayors that you talk to?
Oh, I have mayors that they support Carl. There's others that, but the thinking is now, Crow is probably going to pull this off.
It's 9:58. Angel, it's always a delight talking with you. We'll get together again sometime soon.
Alrighty, brother.
I'll see you at Home Depot. That's normally where I see him. Is it at Home Depot? Okay, but you have a terrific day. Yeah. Well, that's interesting. I finally got somebody that will say directly on the radio what he thinks. Isn't that fun?
That's good, though.
Okay, yeah, and so we'll work on that with you tomorrow. It's closing in on the end of the show. Don't have a lot of time to talk about chapter and verse, all of the things that are still on my table of contents that I still haven't gotten to. That's why there's tomorrow. And maybe tomorrow there's another thing that we're supposed to do that I completely forgot about. You remember we got those iPads from Beyond the Box to give away? Tomorrow.
See, last week you said, hey, man, remind me to do this. And I said, okay, well, remind me to mind you. Because
okay, write it down on something so we can do that. Like first thing tomorrow morning, and we'll whack out a couple of Ray Gibson news quizzes. And the way the Ray Gibson news quiz works is it'll be a question based on today's radical headlines, either from the Guam Daily Post or whatever we generate from around here. And if you win, that'll be your daily marker. And then at the end of a week, we'll do a drawing from all the daily winners. And that person's going to get a brand new iPad from Beyond the Box, BTB.
I used my fluorescent pen.
You want details on that? I cannot make any more details. That's everything I know about it. Anyway, we're 10 o'clock in the morning, KUSG Agana. My name is Ray Gibson. I'm going to be back on the radio tomorrow for Kevin and Mike and Blake and everybody else responsible for putting this thing together. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. See you on the radio tomorrow.
Streaming now on TuneIn, Next Station, and Streamer.
And look at the fires. I'm Lisa Lacera, Fox News. 2 members of President Trump's cabinet in Northern California, just one of the sites raging wildfires in the West.
Interior Secretary Ryan Zinke said after touring the Carr Fire near Redding that California wildfires burned so hot in some places they sterilized the soil. He and Agriculture Secretary Sonny Perdue said prevention, acting ahead of time to manage forests, do thinning and prescribed burns, remove dead trees, needs to become a bigger priority.
Look, whether you're a proponent or an opponent, a believer, a non-believer of climate change, it doesn't relieve you the responsibility to manage our public lands.
They say a change in spending on fires has been authorized to begin next fall, and that will allow them to spend money more appropriately to manage public lands before fires start.